After regaining our position back in the Championship last season, because we won League One, even with that -4 points deduction, we have been very, very busy throughout the summer. We've already kicked off Season 2 as well in the Championship, and it's gone okay. Let's jump in, let's take a look at the transfer business that we have done first. And there is a very big question on everybody's lips. Who have we got to replace Dom Ballard? Well, the answer is Dom Ballard. He's come back, basically. Southampton refused to loan him to us until he returned to Southampton, stayed there for a couple of weeks, and then we went, hey, can we have him on loan again? And they went, sure, perfect. So Dom Ballard is back for Season 2 on loan once again. We've also made Dynel Semeo's loan move a permanent deal, which I'm not convinced was a good idea, but he's in. He's only 22, there's some potential there, so he might get better. We brought in young goalkeeper Brian Okonkwo from Arsenal on a free transfer, and he's immediately gone out on loan to Harrogate. We've also brought in Will Dennis on a free transfer from Bournemouth. He's probably our number 2 goalkeeper. We brought in Joe Williams on a free transfer from Bristol City. And we've also brought in Jairo Riedwald on a free transfer from Crystal Palace. Nathan Ferguson also joins from Crystal Palace on a free transfer. This one I am very happy with. I think he could be superb for us on that right-hand side. And we're not done with Crystal Palace. Scott Banks has also joined on loan from Palace until the end of the season. He has got a little injury, but he'll be fine. And I think probably my best signing of the summer is Fred Onyedinma on a free transfer. Yes, he has come from Rotherham, but I think he is very good. He is probably far too good for Rotherham. I mean, I feel that's horrible. I say he's come from Rotherham. He's come from Luton, technically, hasn't he? But we brought him in on a free transfer, spent last season on loan at Rotherham. He is our starting left winger. And he's very good. He's already scored a couple of goals in the Carabao Cup, one as well in the league, and then he's picked up a fairly serious injury, so he's missing a month of football. That is not all of the players joining the club. There are 2 further players joining the club, which we'll get to in just a moment, because we need to talk about some transfers out first, because we've spent a bit of money. Tyler Binden is the first player to leave, going to Brentford. The New Zealand international has gone for a lot of money, £7 million, potentially going up to 10 million. There's a sell-on in there as well. So Tyler, even though he probably could have been good enough for us this season, we've cashed in. We've also cashed in on Jamari Clark. He's moved over to Ipswich for £625,000. We've also shifted on some fringe players as well. Ben Elliott has gone over to Deportivo La Coruña. Sam Smith has gone to Malaga. I'm not sure why people are going to Spain for some reason. And Harvey Nibbs has gone to Albacete. 3 players going to Spain is odd. And 1 going to Portugal, not so odd because he is Portuguese. It is Joel Pereira has also left the club, going to Porto Menense. And Amadou Mbenge has also left the club, signing for St Etienne, but returning to the club on loan for the season. He's gone for £600,000, potentially going up to £750,000. He's good, but I think with Nathan Ferguson, we've got a replacement. That was kind of the intention. I sold Mbenge because I knew Ferguson was coming in, and now we've got Ferguson and Mbenge as our 2 options and right back. We did also release a huge number of players. The big names there, Grab and Going, Hutchinson, Ajaria. Who else is quite big on that list? I think that's probably it, to be honest. Yeah, so those players you might have seen playing in the first team, but they have all moved on to maybe bigger and better things. Grabban and Hutchinson probably have retired. The final player joining the club then, the only player that has cost us any money for £500,000 is Mika Hamilton from Manchester City. And I know he's a left winger. We've got Fred Onyedinma there. I'm retraining him to be a deep-lying playmaker because I think he can do that job pretty well. He's only 20. He's got a lot of potential behind him as well. £500,000 I think is a good bit of business. He was out of contract next season, which is why I think we got him so cheap. I think we're going to have a big season for Mika Hamilton. Already got a goal to his name as well. So that is all of our transfer business. There are some loans as well sort of going on. We've got, the big one, I guess, is Harley Dean and Yiadom going out on loan deals. But everything else we've kind of covered. Quite a long introduction to this video. Let's see what we've done so far in the table. We are currently 10th. We've won 3. We've won 2, technically. We have won 3. Sorry, we've beaten Plymouth twice. We beat Derby in the opening game of the season, a 2-1 victory. We lost to Sheffield Wednesday and then West Brom. We drew with Sunderland. We beat Bolton. And then we've just beaten Plymouth 3-1. Twice we beat Plymouth 3-1 because we're into the Carabao Cup third round where we're playing Blackpool. We're not going to see that one on camera. In today's episode, we're going to be playing Cardiff. And I'm going to go with Middlesbrough. I don't know what the other match is going to be, if I'm honest. From a season preview perspective, it's not good reading, is it, for Reading? We are down the bottom in 23rd place, only Huddersfield below us. However, I think we are in for a decent season. I don't think we're going to be down there. I think we're going to be mid-table is probably my target for this one. And then if we just sort by key players as well, we can see our key players are Riedwald and Dom Ballard. I'm very impressed with managing to sign him on a free transfer. Yes, he's expensive, but he's a Dutch international footballer. Him and Mika Hamilton in central midfield, I think, is going to be very good for the championship. Some other news as well to talk about. Conor Boyce-Clark, who was out on loan at Doncaster last season, has come back and he is going to be our number one goalkeeper for the season. If we take a look at our squad, sort by our training, which is how I sort by position, we've got Button, we've got Dennis, and we've got Boyce-Clark. So that is our three goalkeepers. I don't want David Button. He's 35 years old. He's far too old for our squad. So he is going to be basically third choice. Dennis is second. Boyce-Clark will be our number one goalkeeper, assuming he's not on international duty with Jamaica, which seems to happen quite a lot. Let's kick off the season then on camera with an away match against Cardiff. It is going to be Boyce-Clark in goal, and Mbenge, Holmes, Burgess and Penny in defence, Riedveld and Hamilton in midfield, Banks, Aziz, Kelvin and Ballard leading the lines. I'm happy with this. Ballard has yet to get the ball rolling though when it comes to goals this season. If we scroll down, we've got some injuries going on. Onyedinma is slightly injured. Simeo, Ferguson and Guinness Walker all missing out. We've just had international break as well, so Leai is not particularly match fit because he's had to travel to basically the other side of the world. So yeah, he's kind of tired. I should probably do this and maybe stick some under-21s on the subs bench instead. It stuck a tired man called Michael Strickland on the subs bench. I mean, he's good. He's good, but he's tired. Why are we putting tired people on the subs bench? So up against Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, Cardiff City in South Wales. We've started the season well. We're currently 10th place in the table. As I said earlier, I would expect us to be finishing around mid-table. That's kind of my target. We are on 10 points before we kick off this game. Corner comes in from Ramsey, and it's found the back of the net by Abu Adams. It's 1-0 to Cardiff. Not even 4 minutes played. I might need to start getting clever about the games that I pick for camera and maybe pick home games against terrible sides, because those are the ones we should be beating. Cardiff away from home, I don't think on paper is a match that we're going to win. It's gone wide over one of the two from the Cardiff player there. It is still obviously 1-0. We've had a chance. We've not seen it, but we've had a chance. Just seen as well, Cardiff are down in the bottom three, or they were, until they scored the opening goal of the game. Collins with a throw for Cardiff. Now they're coming forward down the left-hand side. Ramsey back to Collins. 27th minute. Cross comes in. Boyce-Clark can come out, hold on to that one. Are we going to have a little bit of an attack of our own then? Are we going to have an attack? Boyce-Clark rolls it backwards to Tom Holmes. Not really what we want to be doing, is it? And Mbenge on the right-hand side, getting a start because Ferguson is obviously out injured at the moment. Banks' pass is not very good. And once again, it is Cardiff coming forward. Abde to Ramsey. Left-hand side is O'Dowda with some space. And Mbenge, that's not a foul. It's not a foul, but I'm pretty sure we don't have VAR, so it's going to be a penalty. There is no way that's a foul. He kicked the ball away. That's all he did. It's going to be 2-0 then. Joe Rawls steps up and Boyce-Clark doesn't manage to save it. It goes 2-0 to Cardiff. Match ratings wise, this is one of those games where they're just playing better. They've just all turned up and none of us have. We've not even had a highlight with us even close to the halfway line, let alone having a chance towards their goal. Decent long range effort this time goes over from Cardiff. We are going to have a stern word, I think, with the squad at half time. Right, guys. I'm disappointed. Thrash arms, terrible, actually. That's what we're going to go with. Ballard is apprehensive. Scott Banks is coming off because he is playing horrendously on a 6.2. We're going to do Basil. On you get Baz. I think that's realistically all we can do at half-time. I don't want to change too much. I'm hoping the team talk has kind of fired them up to maybe do something in the second half, and already we've got a free kick in a good position. Not sure who it is going to be taking this one, though. Looks like a small man. Who could it be? Is it going to be Penny? I don't know. It is Penny. How did I know that was Penny? How did I know he was half decent at free kicks? Here he is then. Steps up on his first game of the season. Anik with the save. It's going to be a corner. And Mbenge is the man to go over to take it. So the right back takes a corner from the left-hand side. It's not the best, or is it the best? Kelvin's there. Goes over the bar. Ramsey with a corner from the right-hand side for Cardiff. Towards the back post. Boyce-Clark just about saves it, and then I think Mika Hamilton... Actually, I think it might have been Mika Hamilton who blocked it on the line instead of Boyce-Clark. We're looking better in the second half, but we are so far behind and off the pace that I feel like it is going to be too little too late, even if we do manage to get a goal in this game. Don Ballard collects it. Lovely flick. Mika Hamilton on the ground to Ballard once again. He's got Aziz in front of him. Stops and goes back to Mika Hamilton. Right-hand side is Mbenge. On the ground to Don Ballard, and Don Ballard's missed a sitter. Don Ballard of last season would have buried that. He would have absolutely buried that. Right, we are doing change. We're going to go for Leai up front, and we'll do it that way round. I think we'll do Leai as the advance forward. What else do we do? I mean, we've got some players who are not doing very well. Matt Penny for Tom McIntyre on that left-hand side. Do we do Riedveld as well for Offerborough? Sure. If we can get a goal in the next 5 minutes, it's going to make the last maybe 10 or so a bit more interesting. The problem is, we have not been very good in front of goal at all in this match. And I can't see it changing. We're now into the final 10 minutes anyway. Even if we do score, I don't think there's going to be enough time to get ourselves an equaliser. Parrying with a free kick from a fair distance, but he looks like he's possibly queuing up to shoot. He's not. And Abdi makes it 3-0. Completely out of nothing, that goal. Absolutely out of nothing. 3-0 was not deserved. But still, it's a defeat for us. It's 3-0. It's not good. It might not even be over. There's another chance. It's Wintle to Etete on the ground, finds Robinson, and Benge with a superb tackle. I thought that was going to be another penalty and a second yellow. McIntyre, what are we going to do? Are we going to get a consolation goal? Do we need to think about goal difference this early on in the season? Mika Hamilton collects it from Leai to McIntyre, across to Burgess. Is this a highlight or is this just running down the clock until the full-time whistle goes? We have got 6 minutes of injury time. This is a highlight. Okay, Burgess to Offenbach. 6 minutes is not enough time to score 3 goals. Kelvin, right-hand side, some options. One of them is... It's Basil, isn't it? Of course it's Basil in the middle to Rafael Leai. And the Solomon Islander manages to get his first goal of the season. It is surely a consolation goal. Let's just go very attacking or attacking. Let's push things a little bit further up the pitch. I don't think it's going to make a difference. It did not. It certainly did not. A 3-1 defeat. And I guess Boyce Clark has to take the blame for that. Boyce Clark finishing on a 6.1 should have probably saved the 2 Adams and Abdi goals. Penalty, you can kind of forgive him for that one. This is not a bit of news I was expecting to read. Leai finally manages to score after over 22 competitive matches. And he's finally managed to score a goal. He did score last season. He just clearly didn't score many. And they were mostly towards the front end of the season. But he's managed to get himself a goal, which is good. Doesn't make the league table nicer reading though, does it? Because we are now down in 12th place. Cardiff didn't even move up. Unlucky. We're going to go forward to... Let's pick a match where I think we can win. Millwall away from home. Let's not go with that. Huddersfield at home. They're bottom of the table. Let's go for it. And I imagine if we lose that, I'm not going to be happy. We are back just before the Huddersfield game and they are still rooted to the bottom of the table. However, we have climbed up to 8th place. And that also did involve losing, I think, 5 or 6-0 against Norwich. That would be why Josh Sargent has 11 goals in 10 games. So we've actually won 3 out of the 4 league games in between the matches. We've also beaten Blackpool in the Cup. Dom Ballard finally scoring his first goal of the season in a 2-1 win against Blackburn. A 6-0 defeat against Norwich, where Josh Sargent scores 4. Shane Duffy gets 2 as well. And then we beat Blackpool. Ballard again in the goals. That'll do. We'll say that word. It's Fred Onyedinma in the match against Middlesbrough for that victory. And then Kelvin and Ballard with the goals against Millwall, which means going into this Huddersfield game, we're on pretty good form. We've got 4 wins out of our last 5 games by the looks of it. If you take out the Cup, we've got 3 wins out of our last 5 league matches. So I think we're doing all right at the moment. Let's go and play Huddersfield and let's see how we get on. We've also drawn against Birmingham in the Carabao Cup 4th round. So for the Huddersfield game then, I think this is probably our strongest starting 11, with Boyce Clark in goal, Ferguson, Holmes, Burgess and Guinness Walker in defence, Rydveld and Hamilton in midfield. The only thing that I would potentially do is maybe play Offenbach. Actually, we're going to go for Offenbach in midfield. Banks and Onyedinma on the wings, Kelvin and Ballard leading the lines. I will say this, however, Boyce Clark hasn't played since that last match. I was trying to find the form bit. Will Dennis has played. Has he done all right? He's done very well apart from the Norwich game. I think we play Will Dennis. So this should be a win. This really should be a win. It is 8th place versus 24th place in the table. A victory here as well could potentially put us all the way up into 5th if other results go our way. Sheffield United are already winning their game after, 2 minutes by the looks of it? Nichols with a free kick for Huddersfield. Straight forward to Lees. Now Rose. We are pushing them back in their own penalty area from a free kick. It's a weird tactic to play when you're bottom of the table. Just go route one. Just lump it upfield. Try and score some goals. This is arguably a winnable game for them as well. A team that have just been promoted from League One. This is a winnable match. Mika Hamilton collects the ball in central midfield, finds Banks on the wing, on the ground to Kelvin, Dom's in the middle, Kelvin's going to go it alone, Nichols makes a decent save. Banks has gone over to take the corner from the right hand side. We've got plenty of blue and white shirts in the box, but the corner's rubbish. Nichols can claim it. So 20 minutes in, we have just dropped down to 10th place in the table because somebody else is now winning their game as well by the looks of it. We are not doing great. I have just realised Huddersfield's kit is practically invisible at times. Depending on the camera angle, it is practically invisible. This might not be the best match to show anybody on YouTube, but there we are. It is Huddersfield coming forward with the ball. We've nicked it through Holmes. Kelvin, ball forward, finds Dommy Ballard, has to score. He's missed another one. Ballard should be burying those. He really should be just putting those away straight into the bottom corner or even into the top corner because he's very good at scoring goals. We saw that last season. It is Radoni to Wiles or Willies. It's probably Wiles. Simpson to Radoni, loses out. Now Banks has the ball thanks to Offerborough. Banks is going to go for a run, loses out to, I think, Jonathan Hogg. Nakayama to Rose. Hogg gets the ball back. Now Wiles. Huddersfield trying to pass their way through by the looks of it, but we seem to be slightly quicker off the mark at sometimes nicking the ball off them. Rhodes to Hogg, ball forward to Jack Radoni, back to Rose, goes for a little wander forward if we can nick it, which we can. We've got a big open space on the right-hand side. Hamilton, left-hand side is Onyedinma. He's gone for a long-range effort, and Fred, Onyedinma, has just blasted that into the top corner. It is 1-0, 32 minutes played, and that is a very good goal from a very good player. After this match, I do want to talk about some of the players that I tried to sign and couldn't sign. There is a player who is ridiculously good playing in League One because Football Manager didn't quite compute what happened, that they got relegated and I got promoted, and he decided to go to the recently relegated side rather than the recently promoted side. Half-time here then, it is 1-0 to us. Things are going well, you're capable of better. Straight into the second half, no bother to do any changes there because we're just doing quite good. I would like a second goal though. I would feel happier with a second goal. I'm a bit nervous at 1-0. Hamilton to Guinness Walker. Left-hand side, we can go down, finds Onyedinma towards Dommy Ballard. Kelvin's in the middle if he can get us to cross away. Can't manage it. Onyedinma to Hamilton. We've got Offerborough there as well, facing away from goal. Invites Nathan Ferguson forward. Takes a few touches. He's been tripped. It is going to be a penalty. Who takes penalties? Is it Tom Holmes? I want to say it's Tom Holmes. It's not. It's Kelvin. Big Kelvin steps up then. Can he get his first goal of the game? We need to put this one away. If we don't put it away, it's going to be worrying. We do manage to do it. It is 2-0 now against Huddersfield. His 4th of the season. And right now, we are on the cusp of the playoffs. We are sat in 7th place, joint on points if everything stays this way. Kelvin heads upwards. Doesn't quite manage to clear it. Ferguson get the ball upfield, though, towards Don Ballard. Needs some support at the moment. Well played by young Don Ballard to hold up the ball to get some Royals forward. Kelvin to Offerborough. Right-hand side is Banks. Lovely bit of football. Ferguson. Banks needs to carry on his run into the corner. He doesn't do it. And Kelvin just passes it straight to a Huddersfield shirt. Wiles. Good ball. Finds Kasumu. He can run forward. He's got some company though. I think it's Holmes. Holmes goes over. He's given him a kick. And it's a penalty the other way. Number 9 then for Huddersfield stepping up. That cannot be Jordan Rhodes. Surely that is not Jordan Rhodes. It's Jordan Rhodes. I mean, Jordan Rhodes is a player that I've always liked as a footballer for some reason. How is he still playing? He's 34. He's a Huddersfield legend, isn't he? Let's be honest, he's a Huddersfield legend for that kind of stint there. I mean, how is he still playing at 34? I didn't realise how good he was at Blackburn as well. Anyway, enough reminiscing about Jordan Rhodes. This match suddenly opens back up again, and if Huddersfield can get themselves an equaliser, I'm not going to be best pleased. Guinness Walker with a throw to Hamilton. Onyedinma. Kelvin's in the penalty area, gets some space for himself, tucks that ball away. We restore our 2-goal advantage. And I've just realised we've not done any subs, so let's do a few. Leai is going to come on. We're going to take Hamilton. Why have I done that? We're going to take Hamilton off. We're going to do Joe Williams. Joe Williams has come in. He doesn't really get a chance at the moment because basically he's our 4th choice central midfielder behind Offerborough, Hamilton and Riedveld. So let's bring him on, give him a chance. Do we do Basil as well? Let's do Basil as well for Scott. Final 10 minutes of the match. West Brom Burnley is currently a 3-3 classic going on over there. It is looking like it's going to be a 3-1 victory here, which will be very, very good for us. And at the death, because QPR have just scored a potentially winning goal against, I want to say Sheffield Wednesday, we've moved up into the playoffs. It is Nichols claiming that one. We've got 6 minutes of injury time in this match as well, like we did the last one. Nichols goes for a wander around his penalty area. Is something going to happen? Or are we running down the clock? There's still 3 minutes to play, so I assume something's going to happen. Radoni with it for Huddersfield. Ball forward. Nakayama manages to get past Ferguson. Finds Jordan Rhodes across to Wiles. Wiles' effort goes into the bottom corner. And it is 3-2 with 3 minutes to play. Will Dennis has played really well the last few matches, apart from the Norwich one. And then he's decided, because I've hit record, I'm going to be rubbish. Ferguson with a corner for us. Why is Nathan Ferguson taking our corners? I'm not going to question it. Ferguson, where are you going to put it then? Is this going to be a chance? Can we make it 4-2? It would be good if we could, because we do have to get rid of some of that -6 goal difference from the Norwich game. Basil to Holmes. Basil Chuma goes for goal, tucks it into the bottom corner. His first goal in the Championship, and the Ugandan international secures the victory on 97 minutes. Are we having another highlight, or is the match just about to end? Because I feel like we've had enough. We are 2 minutes over the 96 that was allocated. We're now nearly on 98 minutes played. Lees goes all the way back to Nichols. Is this just running down the clock? I'm hoping this is just running down the clock. Left-hand side is Karomo, who's picked up an injury, apparently. Pearson's ball upfield. Hopefully is intercepted. Burgess's control is awful. Guinness Walker nicks it. We're on 98 minutes. Don Ballard. Kelvin's in the middle. We've hopefully got Basil as well joining if we can get the cross into the box. Ballard does eventually cross it in. It's towards Basil Chuma. And Basil Chuma, the 5'6" man, heads the ball, hits the base of the post. I don't think it was going to count. I think somebody was offside. And the full-time whistle goes. What a weird highlight to end the match, by the way. It didn't make sense. It wasn't needed. We've won 4-2. And because of that victory, we do move ourselves up into 6th place in the table halfway through October. 12 games played so far, so we're almost a quarter of the way through the season, which is what we like to see. I'm going to jump forward in this episode until, I'm going to say, the end of November, maybe? And then next episode, we're going to start off with something that's going to go on in December. So we're going to jump back. We're going to see what happens in all of these results as well and see where we are as we enter December. So with a few more games played, we are still chasing promotion. 7th place, 32 points on the board. We haven't done particularly well, but we have had some very difficult matches to play. So we left off with the Huddersfield game. We did beat Burnley, which is a very big win, a 2-1 victory there. We lost against Swansea. We lost against Birmingham, which means we are now out of the Carabao Cup. We beat Sheffield United 2-0. We beat QPR 4-1. Leai, Onyedinma, Chuma, and a goal in the 97th minute from Cameron Burgess, and then 2 defeats on the spin. Ipswich and Luton. Luton we were not very good in. You can probably tell Luton are actually still pretty decent in this save. And then Leeds, a 2-2 draw, which is a very good draw until you realise Scott Banks missed a penalty in the 93rd minute, which would have won us the game, and we were 2-0 up until the 80th minute. Actually, on paper, that was kind of awful, wasn't it? But it does mean, like I said, league table-wise, we are still fighting for potentially a playoff. I think automatic promotion is probably a little bit too far out of reach at the moment. What is that, 8 points away from the top 2, but if we can get playoffs, I'll be very happy with the playoffs. Next episode then, we are going to do a match in December, and we're going to do a match in February, or a match or 2 in February. Maybe we'll do 1 in December, 1 in February, and 1 in January. That's not the order that the months go, but that's what we might do. We're not going to do Huddersfield because we've obviously already done that. Thank you very much for watching this one. If you did enjoy, do please remember, like, subscribe, and all that fancy YouTubey bobbins. And I'll be back for episode 2. We're back, and it is almost Christmas Day. It's the 20th of December 2024, and we are currently sat 5th place in the Championship. And I'm not quite sure how we're doing this. We are picking up some very, very good wins. We're obviously not winning everything. We've got 8 defeats to our name, which is quite a lot, considering you've got teams who are down in 16th place. Coventry, who will be playing in this episode, who will be kicking off against in this episode, in fact, also on 8 defeats. We just don't draw anything. We've drawn twice against Leeds and Sunderland. How have we got here? Well, in the last episode, I think we finished at the Leeds game, so we've beaten Watford and we've beaten Birmingham 5-1. A Birmingham team that we lost 3-1 against in the Cup earlier on in the season. We beat them 5-1 in this. We also lost 2-1 against Hull. Unfortunately, in that one, we did lose, which was kind of annoying. We were good enough to get something out of it. But then Philogene, who is ridiculous, by the way, in this game, that's Alfie Jones. Philogene, he's good. He scores goals. He likes to score goals. It was his first goal of the season, though. Yeah. He's good, though, isn't he? 15 million's probably a bit steep for us. Not as steep as you think, though, because our board have given us a little bit more money. We've got £2.786 million to spend in our transfer budget, and we're probably just going to do this, I think, push some over into the wages, because I am trying to do a little bit of business ready for January. There are some players who got released from their clubs in the summer, and have not signed new deals with anybody, and I'm trying to pick some of those up. Speaking of as well, I did say in the last episode I will show you some of the players that I wanted to sign in the summer and failed miserably. I'm going to do that now. 3 players were on our list to sign. Smorodov, on loan from Southampton, was going to be one of them, but for some reason it just kept getting cancelled without any explanation at all. Just kept getting cancelled. We also tried to sign Eder Balanta, who is a Football Manager legend, I believe. And obviously, he's still good at 31 years of age. He would have been in as that Borning midfielder, but we couldn't get him, so we brought in Riedveld. So I think we kind of got a better deal because we got a younger player. The one that I really wanted was Dele Alli, who's currently playing in League One for Rotherham. It didn't make any sense to me. It was only us and Rotherham that wanted to sign him, and he went to Rotherham because they were in the Championship at the time when his contract expired, because they hadn't done the tick over into the new year, and Rotherham then got relegated, and we obviously got promoted, so Rotherham seemed like a better deal on paper if you didn't pay attention to what the league was doing. Dele Alli's playing in League One, and I really wanted him. It's annoying that we didn't get him. So we're going to kick off then in this episode against Coventry at home. It is going to be Conor Boyce in goal, who is unhappy. Why are you unhappy? You want a new deal because you're a first-team regular. We'll sort that out in January, maybe. Ferguson, Holmes, McIntyre and Guinness Walker in defence. Offenborough and Hamilton in midfield. Banks, Onyedinma, Kelvin and Ballard leading the lines. You may well have noticed, you might not have done, but you might have noticed that players like Hamilton's star rating has now increased to 3.5 star as a central midfielder. I think Onyedinma might have even gone up. I think Offenborough hasn't, but basically people are starting to get better. I think Boyce Clark, that's his name. I think his has also increased from a 2.5 to a 3-star sweeper keeper on attack as well. So we're getting better, which is good. And there's lots of lovely lines everywhere. So this is going to be the first of 3 matches in this episode. We're going to do a match in January and a match early on in February as well. That is the plan. Obviously, we have the January transfer window. I'm not expecting big things. I'm expecting a couple of players to join, but nobody really major. I'm not looking to spend all of that money that we've just got given to us. Scott Banks has got his 7th goal of the season. He, by the way, has been on fire. I want to sign him on a permanent deal, and I think it could be done for about £500,000, so we might try and do that in January as well. Not that we need to do it in January, because obviously he's on loan until the end of the season, but I'd rather sign him than waste all of our money and then go, probably should have signed him when we had the chance. Ferguson with a throw for us, 11.5 minutes on the clock. 1-0 to the good already. Scott Banks collects it, plays it on the ground to Mika Hamilton, and Hamilton's effort is just wide of Wilson's post. Could have been 2-0. So far in this match, Coventry have done literally nothing in terms of shots. They've had possession, not a huge amount of possession, but they've had some. They are not getting any shots away at all. Banks with a corner for us. It's McIntyre at the back post. Doesn't even bother jumping for it. Fair enough. Offenborough collects it. Down the left-hand side, still a lot of the players are forward. Kelvin's at the back post, heads it down to Don Ballard. Ballard hits the post. Second time, though, he does not. He puts it in the bottom corner. His 9th goal of the season. Took him a while to get going, but now Ballard has started to score the goals that we saw from him in League One. Still not quite at half-time. We've got another chance. Banks with the cross. Onyedinma's at the back post, and Onyedinma gets his 9th goal of the season. It is 3-0. It is not even 40 minutes played. I'm genuinely thinking, and it's far out, okay, but I'm thinking if we get promoted, we sign Don Ballard. We should get a fair amount of money from getting promoted to the Premier League. Obviously, I don't think it's going to happen, but there's a chance. There's definitely a chance. We try and sign Don Ballard, because I know in this game he has a lot of potential. He's guaranteed to be very good if he gets the game time, and that's normally what scuppers a lot of young players in Football Manager, is they never get the game time. We're going to give him that game time because he'll be a lead striker. He's had 2 seasons of first-team football with us so far. He'll have a 3rd in the Premier League. Ferguson with a corner for us. Kelvin's at the front post. Falls to Onyedinma on the half volley. Goes over the bar. 52 minutes played. 3-0 to the good. We are just cruising through this match. Probably need to take Kelvin off. Let's do Leai coming on up front. We're going to swap you 2 round as well because Leai works better, I think, as an advance forward rather than the pressing forward. Ferguson with a throw then. Towards Banks, back to Ferguson on the ground, finds Mika Hamilton, who's very, very good, but he's only on a 6.9 at the moment for us. Guinness Walker on the left-hand side, lots and lots of blue and white shirts in the middle. Guinness Walker, can he cross it? And he does, towards Banks. Banks doesn't even bother going for it because Wilson comes out, holds on. That wasn't a highlight. There was no highlight involved in that, so something else is going to happen in this. It is Mika Hamilton collects it in front of, I assume? That can't be Trevor, can it? That has to be Nathan Chalobah. Holmes with the ball, in the middle to Hamilton, back to Tom Holmes, go down the line please, Banks collects it. Poor from Banks there, I mean he's played so well and then just does that. Ferguson manages to pick up the pieces though, crosses it in, it's towards Onyedinma at the back post, he's not going to get there. Guinness Walker can keep it alive though, 4 in the box, Leai is 1, his shot is blocked and it's going to be a corner for Reading. Ferguson is the man to go over to take it, on a 6.9 currently. If he gets an assist he's going to go up to a 7.3, it's easily held by Wilson. Literally every single player, bar Ferguson and now Leai, is not on a green number. Every single player in our squad at the moment. Leai is playing poorly. I assume it's because he's come on and we're 3-0 up, so he doesn't need to do anything. McIntyre back to Boyce Clark, who we will be giving a new contract to, hopefully soon, to stop him basically crying. Guinness Walker's pass is awful. Or was it Guinness Walker or was it Leai not paying enough attention? Could have been both. It is Cornes back to De Silva over the top, finds Sims. He's got a little bit of space for himself, goes for goal. Boyce Clark, I think, manages to stop it, and it's not. It's gone straight over the bar. Right, let's do some subs. We're going to do a whole host of changes, I think. Riedwald is going to come on. Banks is going to come off as well. He's played, obviously, very well for Basil Chuma. Do we do on Yadinma as well for Aziz? I think we do. And then we've got Holtzman, Mbenge, Burgess, and Savage. I think we're going to do Mbenge. There we go. So that's all of our subs. Hopefully we don't get any injuries, because that could be pretty bad if we do. We've got, 12 minutes of normal time to play plus injury time, which is probably 6 minutes. Chalobah collects it for Coventry on the ground, but intercepted easily by McIntyre. McIntyre now goes for a little wander, goes for a dribble. Why not? You may as well. We're 3-0 up, lads, with 20 minutes, not 20 minutes, with 10 minutes left to play. It is Prestiani, though, collecting it for Coventry on the right-hand side. I think he's very good, isn't he, Prestiani? Tries to cross it and hits the first man, and now we can hopefully counter. Oh my word, Femi Aziz. Lovely spin there to get the ball past Latabaldiri. Probably not his name. Cross comes in, Ballard's nowhere near it. Basil gets that one, hopefully. Yes, he does. 3 in the box. Chuma's cross. It's Aziz at the back post. He kind of gets it close. Goes over the bar though, still 3-0. We're still not quite finished yet. However, I think this match is basically done and dusted, unless Coventry can get themselves a goal, which is entirely possible, isn't it? Palmer down the left-hand side, easily picked up though. Basil Chuma, number 48. Next season, Chuma's going to have a sensible squad number, okay? He's the only one who's in our regular squad who's got a squad number of higher than about 26. So I think we need to give him a sensible number. Boyce Clark as well probably needs the number 1 shirt. He'll get that when Button leaves. Prestiani for Coventry. Chalobah collects it in the middle, finds Sims. He's got some options on the left-hand side. Invites Bidwell forward. Keeps going. He's got number 16 in front of him, which is Mbenge. Sims' effort is blocked. It's not blocked, it's over the bar. It's an absolute shambles of an effort by the sounds of it. Final couple of minutes of normal time. Coventry are starting to try and get back into this game. It's too little too late, let's be honest, but they are having a lot of highlights and a lot of possession in the last few minutes. So let's just weather the storm, get a clean sheet. We don't get a lot of clean sheets. This is a problem that we seem to have at the moment, and we're not going to get a clean sheet because Boyce Clark just went for a wander. Just went for an absolute wander. Gave up playing attention, didn't he? It's 3-1. 4 minutes of injury time, and we've nicked the ball away in a very good position. Leai towards Aziz. 2 in the box. One of them's Ballard, and Ballard's missed a sitter. He's done that far too many times. He was flagged as offside anyway, so it's not going to be too much of a problem, but he should have buried that chance. The full-time whistle goes then. It's a 3-1 win. It should have been 3-0. Realistically, it should have been 3-0. Boyce Clark actually played very well. XG of 2.01 with only 1 goal scored. So it's a very good performance from us defensively, I think. But, I mean, conceding a goal sucks. But we've got the win. We got the win. That's all that matters. 3 points. Right, before we go any further, I think we're going to try and get this deal done and make it permanent in January. So 40 grand. I want to get rid of any sell-ons because I hate doing sell-ons. That's a lot. It's pretty steep. They say 400,000. Let's do some negotiating. Right, I offered them that and they said no, which is 800,000. So we're going to have to come back to this maybe later on in January. Speaking of January, we are now going to go forward until the 1st of January. We'll play a match on camera, which I'm thinking we'll go for Millwall. We're going to do the Millwall game on camera, and then we're obviously going to have January transfer window going on in and around it, so we'll come back on the 1st. If there's any business that will take place on the 1st, then hopefully we'll get a few players in between the 1st and the 18th, and then a little bit after that as well, maybe. It is the 1st of January, and we have already done some business before we even got into January. If you are eagle-eyed enough, you might even spot a few new names. Against Watford, a 3-2 win here. Against Norwich, a 1-0 defeat. Who have we signed, you might ask? Well, 3 players have joined on permanent deals, all on free transfers. Matthew Bonswell is the first one. I think he's at Newcastle, and I've brought him in because at the end of the season we're losing Matt Penny, and I feel like Bonswell might have some potential, and he's basically 3rd choice left back at the moment, will be 2nd choice next season. We've also signed Jamal Lascelles, also formerly of Newcastle United, obviously. He got released at the end of the season, and he's dropped down to the Championship on £4,300 a week. I don't think I've really needed a new centre-back, but Jamal Lascelles, I think, is a good enough player for another season, maybe, especially if we don't get promoted, which I don't think we will. Having a 32-year-old Jamal Lascelles isn't the end of the world for another season, so I'm happy with that signing. And this one I'm ridiculously happy with. If you watch my Aston Villa save, you would have noticed I signed this man. I've brought him in on a free transfer. Niko Kavlina is a Croatian under-21 international, 3 caps to his name. He's ridiculous, right? He's absolutely ridiculous. Current ability-wise, I say current ability, current value-wise, £15.5 million. Now, our goalkeeper ain't going to be best pleased, because we've now got 4 goalkeepers who could arguably play first team football. We are going to offer Conor Boyce-Clarke a new deal, but he's not going to be our number 1 goalkeeper anymore. We are probably going to lie to him and say that he will be, though. So obviously with the January transfer window open, we have some money to spend, but I don't think I'm going to do a huge amount of business at all. I'm going to try and look to bring in another player on a free transfer who got released in the summer, and that's pretty much it. However, it's going to be a bit of a fight because he was getting paid a lot of money at his former club. Right, ready for match number 2 of the episode, and we have done a small amount of transfer business. Not a lot, let's be honest. We've not done really much at all. In fact, we've done more transfer business before the window opened than we have now it has opened. We have sold exciting youngster Benji Purcell to Middlesbrough because I wasn't playing him and I don't think he was ever going to get into the first team, so we shifted him on for 825, potentially rising up to £1 million. And we brought in Ghanaian striker Kwame Pepra from Kerala in India. He was out of contract in the summer. I really need to have another striker because we have Kelvin and Ballard and then wingers who play up front. We needed like another striker who could kind of fill in when those players weren't particularly match fit. Pepra kind of fits the bill. He's cost £20,000. So, I mean, I feel like that's a bargain. Yes, he's not really got the most exciting career, but I'm hoping he can score some goals. He's also only 24, so there might be some room to grow. Other than that, we have played 3 matches so far as well. We have lost against Middlesbrough, we have beaten Woking in the Cup, and we have beaten Huddersfield away from home thanks to a 94th minute winner from Mika Hamilton. And it means right now, on 27 matches so far played, we are sat 5th place in the table, but there is a very big fight for basically, at the moment, I'd say the final 2 playoff spots between us, Sunderland, Burnley, Ipswich, Sheffield United, Hull, maybe even going down as far as Swansea as well. So there are a lot of teams potentially in that little playoff battle. We are leading the way at the moment. So the starting lineup then for the Millwall game will be Cavallina in goal and Benge, Holmes, McIntyre and Guinness Walker in defence. Although, which should be Lascelles, shouldn't it? Let's go with Holmes. Lascelles in defence, McIntyre and Guinness Walker. Offerborough and Hamilton in midfield, Banks and Onyedinma on the wings, Ballard and Pepra leading the line. Pepra is getting a start today. I asked the assistant to pick, and they said I should play Pepra and Kelvin. I want to play Ballard. Ballard's arguably better than Kelvin, so I feel like we should be making sure that we get our best players on the pitch, so that's what we're going to go with. 40 seconds on the clock, and we've got a very early highlight. Pepra has gone over to take a free kick in a very deep position. Lascelles is up there. Doesn't manage to get it. Banks has controlled it kind of well. Gets his cross in the middle towards Lascelles. Doesn't find him and Benge's there. And Amadou and Benge blast that into the top corner. 1 minute played. We take the lead against Millwall. Not going to lie, that kind of came a little bit quicker than I was expecting, but I'm very happy that it has come already. 10 minutes on the clock. Martinez for Millwall plays it back to Hutchinson. That's not our former player, is it, Hutchinson? Wallace is going to go for a little wander forward with the ball. Damien back to Hutchinson again. Kicks it forward, Goncalves. Wallace putting a lot of pressure on him. Honeyman intercepted. That's what we want. There we go. Hamilton invites Scott Banks forward. Finds Don Ballard in the middle. Pepra. Clearly they don't play the offside rule in India, but it doesn't matter because Hutchinson's put the ball in the back of the net. Throughout the entire highlight, if you watch Pepra, number 26 down here, he's offside for most of it. He's offside from there, and he's just still offside, asking for the ball in the middle. Luckily, Hutchinson puts it in for us anyway. Oh, marvellous. Well, 24 minutes on the clock, and we have a hand injury to Cavallina, which means Boyce-Clarke is going to come on, and Benge is also kind of injured, so we're going to do a Brefa, who has been out on loan for the last season and a half. He's just come back, and he's actually pretty good. So, Abrefa's going to be making his first appearance on camera. That, by the way, is Little Kelvin, I think. You've got Big Kelvin and Little Kelvin. Since the injuries, we've had nothing at all. In fact, it has gone all the way through to half-time with no further highlights to talk about. 2-0 to the good. It looks like nothing has happened at all from a Millwall perspective. I don't think they've had a single shot. They haven't. They've had a lot of possession, but they're not managing to get past our entire squad. Pepper with the cross. Onyedinma with a bit of space. His first touch is horrendous. He should have just kicked it first time and gone for goal. We need to get there first. This is not good. Dior, he can go for a run off to the right-hand side, being pressured. It's still Dior, though. I think it's Offerborough with him. It's Guinness Walker actually collects it. Maybe it's not Offerborough. Boyce-Clarke. Get it upfield. Just lump it upfield. I don't like us walking around our own penalty area. McIntyre, Guinness Walker, down the left-hand side is what we want to be doing. There's Fred. Go on, Fred, Onyedinma. in towards the middle. Number 9 is Don Ballard. 21's going for a run. Banks, that is, on that right-hand side. Guinness Walker's got it on the left. Slowly passing our way through this just brick wall of a Millwall side by the looks of it. Abrefa to Banks. He's got 5 in the middle to pick from. Offerber's 1. He gets 2 bites of the apple and he makes it 3-0, his 4th of the season. Right, even though we've obviously done 2 subs already, I think we are going to do a couple more, and it's going to be Banks and Hamilton coming off. We're looking at fitness right now. So Charlie Savage, no, Rydval is coming on. We're going to do Aziz as well. We've got 1 more sub to do, which I'm going to hold on to just in case we've got somebody who needs to come off. McIntyre's not doing so hot. He's on a 6.6, but we're 3-0 up. So do we really care if we concede a goal at the moment? Almost into the final 10 minutes, and it looks like Mill will have a chance in a good position. Martinez is at the back post and hits it just wide of Boyce Clark. First real highlight of the game for Millwall, I think that one was. It's their 4th shot, but none of them have been on target just yet. Into the final 5 minutes, let's just do a bit of a time-wasting sub. Who have we got on the bench? We've got, let's do Kelvin, sure, Kelvin for Ballard. And it didn't make a blind bit of difference what we did at the end because there were no highlights at all pretty much in the second half. A 3-0 win at home against Millwall. It's a good result. It's a decent win. Yes, Millwall were down the wrong end of the table, but you can see by all of the numbers in the back 5, you can see why we played so well. I mean, even Mbenge, he did get an injury, but he did get that goal as well. We just played really well in defence. Oh, magical. Magical, magical, magical. So, Cavlina is out for 5 weeks because he's broken his hand. Well, so he's joined the club and he's played 4 games, conceded 6, got 1 clean sheet and broken his hand. So, you know, he's had a fun, eventful couple of weeks, hasn't he? He's only been in the country for about 3 weeks. And Benge is out for just 1 to 2 days. Okay, that is not too bad. And there is a bit of news. We've sold Harley Dean to Portsmouth. Finally, Harley Dean's left. We are now going to jump forward to the 1st of February, where we will obviously have the end of the transfer window. And then we're going to play Swansea on camera as well to round out this episode. Just for your information, we've got £2.5 million to spend. We are over our wage budget. I'm probably looking to bring in another striker, and that's about it. I will tell you about the player that I wanted to sign. He's gone over to Saudi Arabia. It's Donny van der Beek. He was released from Man United, and he was just without a club for 6 months. And I offered him a contract. It was 25 grand a week, which he accepted. But obviously, the Saudi money came in, which is double what we offered, and he's moved over there. He would have been silly for us. I probably would have played him as a striker as well, a position that he definitely can't play. Right, the transfer window has closed and we have brought in another player. It's a player that we didn't need, but for the money that we've spent, I think we've got ourselves a very good deal. There is another player as well that I'm looking to sign that we also don't need. And I don't think this is a good idea, but I'm probably going to do it anyway. So briefly talking about the outs then, Harley Dean obviously we know has left, gone to Portsmouth. Louis Holtzman has gone out on loan to Carlisle. Dynel Simeo has also gone out on loan this time. He is joining Harley Dean at Portsmouth. He's just decided to play for Southampton, Reading and Portsmouth, which I feel like is not a good idea. And we've also loaned out Kelvin Abrefa to Wigan because he's going to get game time playing for Wigan that he isn't going to get for us. He was there earlier on in this season, so we've kind of gone there, come back, and he's gone back there again. Joining the club is Chris Mepham for £22,000. He's only 27 years of age, and he's very, very good. So we brought in Jamal Lascelles and Chris Mepham, 2 very good Premier League standard-ish central defenders. And there's another one that also might be joining. Courtney House got released by Aston Villa. I've offered him a contract. I've offered him a contract of £15,000 a week. And I think we're the only team who want him. So I feel like Courtney House also might be joining, which means I might end up changing my formation to play 3 at the back. Because if you look at our squad at the moment, I've highlighted the central defenders there. So Lascelles, Burgess, McIntyre, Holmes and Mepham. 5 very good first-team quality centre-backs. And we might be getting a 6th in the shape of Courtney House. I think we've got too many defenders. We also don't have enough sort of strikers. We've got Ballard, Pepra and Kelvin. And that's it for strikers. I think we'll be fine. So the starting lineup then for the Swansea game will be Boyce Clark in goal, Ferguson, Lascelles, Mepham and Guinness Walker in defence, Offerborough and Hamilton in midfield, Banks, Onyedinma, Kelvin and Pepra leading the lines. I want to get a goal from Pepra. That's what I want to be seeing. I want a goal from Pepra. So I think we've also played one further match in between sort of the last match that we played against Millwall and the match now. Maybe 1 or 2. We have been knocked out of the FA Cup against Leeds, which was not ideal. But we are still, as you can see, up in 5th place in the table, still at the top of the kind of chasing pack. A win against Swansea is kind of needed, because if we lose, Swansea get dragged into this battle as well. Banks' corner comes in. Lascelles is at the back post. He gets 2 chances. How have we not scored from any of that? How Lascelles had 2 shots. The goalkeeper was on the floor for one of them, and then somebody else also had a shot where the goalkeeper was on the floor, and we didn't manage to get a goal out of it. Pedersen loses out to Ferguson. Good. Plays it back to Jamal Lascelles. Ferguson again, down the right-hand side, please. There we go. Banks can go for a little run past a few Swansea players. Plays it on the ground to Offerbrook, invites him forward. Back to Banks. Lovely pass. And Banks goes for goal himself, his 9th of the season. And we really need to make this a permanent deal. He has been so good for us. Way better than I ever thought he would be. I brought Banks in to be a squad player as well, by the way. I brought him in to be a squad player because we didn't have a huge amount of wingers at the time. And he's turned into one of the first names on the team sheets. Pepra isn't going to win that header. Not ideal. Yates plays it back to Darling. Now McCann on the halfway line. Goes for a little run. Plays it forward to Sorinola. Loses out to Guinness Walker. That's what we like to see. Back to the Jamaican international Boyce Clark. Jamal Lascelles. Right hand side is Ferguson. Slow build from the defence is what I do like us doing slow builds. Even though we're playing Gegenpress, we do slow build sometimes. Banks is in on goal. Can he get a second of the game? Turns his body. Side foots it past Selvik. It is 2-0. Scotty Banks is on fire. And good to see as well there, Pepra getting an assist for that second Scott Banks goal. Cooper with a free kick for Swansea. McCann back to Cooper. We're going to put some pressure on. I think it was Kelvin who was potentially loitering around there. Yates isn't going to get there. Onyedinma to Mepham. Guinness Walker on that left-hand side. I do like the partnership of Lascelles and Mepham. Premier League experience playing in this side now. Cooper collects it. Plays it forward to John Joe Shelvey. John Joe Shelvey's playing for Swansea. Is he really playing for Swansea? I thought he was in Turkey, wasn't he? Sorinola takes the touch, goes for a long-range effort into the bottom corner, and Matthew Sorinola makes it 2-1. Swansea not out of this game yet. Just a few minutes later, another possible chance going the way of the Pinks of Swansea. Darling has it. Plays it forward. Sorinola's not going to get there first. Guinness Walker does. Good bit of defending from Guinness Walker. Onyedinma takes a few touches. 3 in the box. Hits the first man. Mika Hamilton dinks it towards Banks. And Scotty Banks has a first-half hat-trick. He's got a first-half hat-trick. Has he managed to score the perfect hat-trick with left foot, right foot header? He's definitely got a header, and I'm pretty sure he's got a left foot. I don't know whether he got a right foot as his first goal. I know there's still obviously a lot of the season still to play, but beating Swansea here should be enough to kind of put them too far away from this sort of chasing pack and basically make that little pack smaller, which is what we need to be doing at the moment, because right now there are about 6 teams involved in this, and I don't like the fact there are so many teams involved in this chasing pack. If we can drop some teams, drop a Swansea, drop a Sunderland and a Burnley and an Ipswich, then it suddenly gets a little bit easier. In fact, if we drop an Ipswich, it means that, you know, there's only going to be 3 teams battling for 2 positions. Second half has been fairly uneventful. We're going to do a couple of changes. Leai is going to come on the left-hand side. Do we want to do anything else? I mean, Banks is struggling. He's got his 3 goals. He's got a yellow card and he's not particularly doing so well. So we're going to do Aziz as well. Hamilton coming off for Charlie Savage. You don't get too many games at the moment. You're kind of annoyed that you don't get too many games. John Joe Shelvey with a corner for Swansea towards the back post. And it's 3-2. We really don't like keeping clean sheets, do we? We really like to just concede goals for fun. Kelvin with a free kick for us towards the back post. Pepra doesn't win it. Aziz does, though. Plenty of options in the box. One of them is Kwame Pepra. And Kwame Pepra gets his first goal in Reading colours. His first goal in English football as well. And we make it 4-2. Honestly, Pepra I didn't think would be good enough to play first team football. I expected it to be Kelvin and Ballard, and then Pepra might come off the bench or play if there's sort of fitness or injury concerns. Pepra's actually doing really well for us. In the games that he has played, Swansea coming forward, Boyce Clark makes a save, keeping it 4-2 for the moment, but it is a corner. Looks like John Joe Shelvey's going over to take it with his lovely shining head. Shelvey from the left-hand side then. Get the ball clear. Get it clear. It's Mepham. It's Ferguson. It's a volley clear as well. That's good defending. I'm happy with that. Sorinola with a throw for Swansea. One of the 2 goal scorers. And here's the other one, and I'm not even going to try and say his name. I can't even comprehend it, if I'm honest. It's Cooper with loads and loads of space. We've given him even more. And Oliver Cooper makes it 4-3. Who's struggling here? Who is struggling? Guinness Walker looks like he's tired. He's on a 6.6. Lascelles, Mepham and Guinness Walker and Ferguson all of them playing badly. And Boyce Clark, because of course, final 5 minutes of the match, we do obviously still have the lead. We're going to do a change. Kelvin off, Ballard on. Do we do any more changes? I'm thinking defensively, Ferguson for Holmes. Holmes can't really play as a right back, but Ferguson is struggling. Guinness Walker is struggling as well. 2 minutes to play, and I feel like there's a goal happening here. Boyce Clark holds on. Take your time, mate. We're 4-3 up. We don't need to do anything stupid. Boyce Clark slowly wandering around his penalty area. Boyce Clark is going to just drop it to somebody, isn't he? Okay, he's kicked it. That's good. Ballard isn't going to really do too much. Peprah to Aziz. Ballard is there. Controls it well. He doesn't control it well, in fact. It's cleared. We're going to keep it alive, though. Guinness Walker on the left-hand side. Goes a little bit too far wide. Finds Leai. 3 in the box if he can get across it away. Plays it to Charlie Savage. Finds Offenborough outside the penalty area. Tries to curl it into the top corner. Hits the top of the bar. Goes over. Decent effort from Offenborough. The fact that we have had about 20 shots to Swansea's 4 is frustrating. Their goalkeeper's come up for that corner I've just seen, and we've nicked this. Aziz has the ball. It's about 4 versus 2. Peprah collects it. Play it on the ground to Ballard. Please, play it on the ground. Just get it in the box or something. Aziz now crosses it in. Charlie Savage is there. It's blocked. Leai is going to keep this alive. I thought he was going to go for goal himself. Aziz tries to get some space. He was offside. We've got 6 minutes of injury time. 2 of them remain. We are hopefully going to hold on to this. We do hold on. A 4-3 victory against Swansea. And we made that difficult. And by we, Boyce Clark made that difficult. Their XG was not even 1 and he let in 3. And we scored some very good goals. So we're going to end this episode sat in 5th place in the table with, 16 games left to play of the season. So we're going to have 2 more episodes, this season. So we're going to probably do something like that, I think is what we're going to go for. So we're most likely going to finish with the Coventry game. If we get it into the Championship playoffs, there might be an episode 5 of season 2. Oh, and a couple of days later, we can't quite confirm the Courtney House deal. We can do it if we can rearrange our transfer budget and our wage budget. So we're going to delay and see if we can fix something, because I do want to get him in, but we can't change anything because we're slightly over our budget. Maybe we're not getting Courtney House. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Right, we are getting very close to the business end of the season with Reading in Season 2, and as you can see on the left-hand side, we are currently 8th place in the table. However, if we win our game in hand, which I don't think is the game against Sheffield United, it might be the game against Sheffield United, we will potentially move up. In fact, we might move up. We should move up. If we beat Sheffield United 2-0, that should be enough, because our goal difference will go to positive 11. Theirs would drop down to positive 10. Basically, we could move up to 6th place with that game in hand. In this episode, we are going to be playing against Sheffield United in 6th, Ipswich in 7th, Luton in 2nd. We are not going to have an easy time. We're also going to be playing QPR off camera. If I can click it, there you go, down in 20 seconds. So that one should be a nice, easy win. Also, Courtney House hasn't joined yet. Basically, we didn't have the transfer budget to bring him in. However, I've offered him a new contract because we've managed to rearrange some money about, and Courtney House might be joining again. I still don't know why I'm doing this, but he's very good at football. In between episodes, we've been pretty poor, which is why we have dropped down to 8th place. We have drawn with Bolton, we've lost against Plymouth, we lost against Cardiff, and we managed to absolutely destroy Blackburn, in fact, 3-0. Ballard with 2, Peprah also getting on the score sheet. So he's got 2 goals now in about 6 games, which is, it's not great, but it's okay, I'll take it. The starting lineup then for the Sheffield United game is going to be tough. We basically did not rest players after our last match, so we have got some fitness concerns. It's going to be Cavallina in goal, Ferguson, Mepham, McIntyre and Guinness Walker, Offenborough and Riedveld in midfield, Chuma and Onyedinma on the wings, Peprah and Ballard leading the lines. If we scroll down, we are missing Kelvin, we are missing Aziz, we are missing Scott Banks, which is 3 very, very big names. Aziz doesn't play that much because Banks normally plays, but obviously with Banks injured, Aziz would be playing, but he can't play, which means Basil Chuma is going to be getting a start in this one. I am hoping Sheffield United did the same thing as us and did not manage to rotate or rest enough players in the last match, because we are missing our entire central midfield, basically. We're playing Offenborough and Riedveld when we should be playing Hamilton at the very least in that central midfield, and I'm a bit concerned. Looking at the fitness of Sheffield United, they're in a similar boat. Good. So Baldock, Egan, Ibarra and a few others look like they are not 100% fit. Ferguson's corner comes in early on. McIntyre's hit the bar, and it is Peprah with his 3rd goal of the season. Just 4.5 minutes played. We take the lead against Sheffield United away from home as well. This could be massive, this goal. It looks like both teams are actually playing a 4-2-4 formation as well, so we are going to potentially cancel each other out. We are moving up into 7th place, so this isn't our game in hand, or is it our game in hand? It might be our game in hand. It is McIntyre to clear it. I'm not sure what this highlight is to start with. Back to Ibarra. Left-hand side is Rivera with a bit of space. Cuts inside, goes for goal, hits the underside of the bar, and it goes off for a throw. And Onyedinma's injured. That's not what we need. Another injury to a winger. Right, he's not injured to the point where he needs to come off. However, he's probably going to be coming off at half-time. They are recommending that I bring on Leai for Onyedinma, which I guess it's the most logical change. I don't want to bring Onyedinma off because he's good. He's very good. Leai isn't particularly great, is he? Baldock, what a tackle that is from McIntyre. Still doesn't manage to find anyone other than a Sheffield United shirt, and Tom Davies gets his second goal of the season for Sheffield United. It's 1-1. So even if this is a draw, we will move up into 7th place, but we'll be 2-3 points behind Sheffield United. So we'll be off the pace when it comes to actually getting into the playoffs. We're doing well, keep going. Let's see what this injury is. Wants to stay on, but injury is affecting him. Do we bring him off? I feel like we have to bring him off, don't we? Leai is going to come on. Or, we haven't done it. We've not really done this, but Hamilton can play on that left wing. We're going to go for it. We've got Charlie Savage. If we need a central midfielder, we can bring on Savage to play in that central midfield role. Or we can bring on Leai and move Hamilton into that position. So maybe this is a good idea. It might be a terrible idea as well, just in case, like, let's say Hamilton gets himself injured because he's not fully match fit. The second half is very, very uneventful by the looks of it. They've just done 2 subs to both of their strikers, so Archer and McBurney have both come on for Sheffield United. We are looking tired. Look at all of this conditioning. I think we're going to have to do all of our changes now just to get the tired players off the pitch. So, Yeardom, he's returned from his loan spell. I don't really want to do that, but I think we're going to have to. Offerborough for Williams, sure, we'll do that. Guinness Walker, we've got no left-backs on the subs bench. Can Lascelles play as left-back? No, he's right-footed. McIntyre can. Right, that'll do. We'll swap you two round. We've got one more change, which probably has to be Ballard. But Leai is not very good as a striker. He's really... I mean, we're doing it, aren't we? We're going for it. We've got to roll the dice. We can't play the rest of this match with that level of fitness throughout the team. And if we get an injury now, we're kind of screwed, aren't we? We are into the final 5 minutes of the match. A 1-1 draw away from home at Bramall Lane is not a bad result. Realistically, it's not a bad result at all. Would have been nice to see a little bit of action in the second half. We've had nothing at all, I don't think. Any highlights at all in the second half. But we've picked up a point. We didn't even have a shot in the second half. We had 0 shots in the second half. Sheffield United did a fair amount by the looks of it. Didn't see any of it. It's a decent point. Onyedinma bruised his shin. You bruised your shin, mate. That's not an injury. That's the type of thing a toddler does, and he gets over it and gets on with his life. You can also see there, from those injuries, that we are missing Banks for hopefully a small amount of time, same as Aziz, but Kelvin is out for 2 to 3 months with a torn hamstring, which is it's a big miss. He's not even that good. Let's be honest, he's not that good, but he does the business for us. 8 goals so far in all competitions. He should have more. He really should have more goals. Right, we're back the other side of the QPR game, and we have moved up to 6th place in the table. I don't know what happened to Sheffield United, but we have managed to basically leapfrog over them. Thanks to goal difference, realistically, that's the only reason why we are ahead of them. But we are now 4 points behind Hull, 6 points behind Leeds, and 10 points behind Blackburn, and too far behind Luton, so we're not going to be going up automatically. Next up then, we are going to be playing Ipswich, who are in 8th place. I feel like we've had some fixtures rearranged, because that match wasn't there before, was it? And then we're going to also be playing Luton in this episode. Ipswich is not going to be easy, but it's probably the easier of the 3 that we're going to play in this episode. Also, Courtney House has arrived. He's here. He's made it. It's another centre-back that we didn't need, but he's very good. We've got 3 really good centre-backs that we signed in January, and we've still got 3 existing centre-backs who are still very good for us. We're also making the Scott Banks deal permanent in the summer. He's costing too much money. It's costing... Can we even find out? It's 1.8 million, but it's not. It's like 400,000 up front and then 1.8 or the rest of it over 3 years or something stupid like that. So he's costing us a fair amount of money, but I think he's earned it. He's done very well for us. 12 goals so far in the league, 8 assists as well. He's been very good. And we've also set up an affiliate club of Manchester City, which if we get promoted is going to immediately get cancelled. But if we stay in the Championship next season, we might be able to loan some ridiculously good youngsters rather than signing them like we did with Mika Hamilton. Anyway, let's play Ipswich and let's hope that we don't balls this one up. The starting lineup then for the Ipswich game will be Cavallina in goal, Ferguson, Mepham, Courtney Howells making his debut, and Guinness Walker in defence. Offenborough and Hamilton in the defensive midfield positions with Banks, Onyedinma, Ballard and Pepra leading the lines. Pepra I'm still not convinced of, but he has now got 3 goals, so he's getting there. Probably shouldn't be playing Scott Banks, but, I mean, let's start Aziz. Let's start Aziz. Banks can come off the bench. What squad numbers Courtney Howells going to get? I don't even know what's available. It's probably something absolutely ridiculous. He's already got one. He's 27. I didn't pick that. You know what? I wonder whether Courtney Howells has something in his contract that says, I will be squad number 27. And because it was available, he just got given it, because I definitely didn't pick a squad number for him. 20 minutes played against Ipswich, and absolutely nothing is taking place so far. In fact, by the looks of it, nothing has taken place in the entirety of the Championship until Leeds have taken the lead, apparently. It's a corner. Alex Tellez takes it, Mepham clears it, Broadhead's going to pick this ball up though. Goes for a long-range effort, decent effort as well, but goes over the bar. All of a sudden, there is a flurry of goals. In fact, Vaux scored a goal for Sheffield Wednesday after 1 minute. This is the only thing that really happened early on in the games. Ferguson with a corner for us. Back post is Courtney Howells on his debut. It would be great if Courtney Howells could score a goal from a corner. I don't think it's going to happen. Howells to Guinness Walker. 4 minutes left of normal time in the first half. Courtney Howells gets it once again. Ball forward. Offenborough towards Don Ballard, right-hand side. In fact, he's gone straight through to Aziz. His control's not the best. Ferguson keeps it alive, though. 4 in the box. One of them is Don Ballard. He picks up the pieces. Number 15 for the season. Alex Tellez almost scored an own goal, but Walton saved it. But straight into the paths of the Southampton youngster. He's ridiculous. He is so good in this game. It's unreal. Half-time then, obviously 1-0 to Reading. We've gone straight into the second half. I am considering doing a save with Southampton where I want to do the real world, not the real world, the your world, so we keep all of the original players. And I'm genuinely thinking Don Ballard might be playing. I think he's proven to me in this Reading save that Ballard is ridiculous, and I want to give him some game time in the Championship at Saints. It's a penalty? It's not a penalty, it's a corner. Okay, fair enough. I got worried. The camera did some weird stuff. I thought it might have been a penalty. Instead, it's going to be a corner for Ipswich. Alex Tellez goes over to take it. We do need to look at doing some changes because Hamilton is ready for bed. Onyedinma is ready for bed as well. So we can do a little bit of rejigging in midfield. Cross comes in. Hamilton can clear it. Not far enough, I don't think. Broadhead loses out to Aziz. And now, highlight's going to end. We're going to pause it and let's do some changes. 3 changes in total, so we're bringing on Riedwald, Banks and Leai. Coming off is Onyedinma, Hamilton and Pepra. Not necessarily in that order, but we've basically changed 2 for fitness, 1 for performance, which is Pepra, who's not doing very well at all. Ipswich are doing quite good in the second half. I'm a bit concerned. We've only got a 1-goal lead. Chidera on the left-hand side. He's got company. Cross comes in anyway. Hurst is there. Hurst gets his 17th goal of the season, 2 more than Don Ballard, and Ipswich equalise. Looks like Guinness Walker has taken the blame for that one. He's on a 6.3. Courtney Howells has just dropped to a 6.4 as well. We've got 20 minutes to try and find a winner. Cavallina, the Croatian goalkeeper, ball on the ground, finds Courtney Howells. Obviously, Cavallina has recovered from his broken hand that he got in the last episode, maybe? Leai, not the best control, but it falls to Banks, playing on the opposite flank to what he normally does. Cross comes in. Ballard is there. Goal number 16 for Ballard. 1 more goal, and he will equal with Ipswich's top goal scorer, who I don't even think is close to being top goal scorer in the league. I think Josh Sargent has run away with that on like 20-something goals. Final 10 minutes, and we are deep into those as well. We're going to do another change or 2, more for fitness than anything else. So McIntyre's going to come on in midfield. I guess he can play there. Aziz as well is going to come off for Basil. That's all of our changes. We just need to hope no injuries in the last few minutes. And ideally, another goal, or no goals for Ipswich at the very least. It is Chidera on the right-hand side. He seems to be swapping sides all over the place, doesn't he? Campagna, cross comes in, Chaplin's there, Mepham clears it. Basil's going to hopefully get there first and does so. Chuma, where are we going to go? On the ground or not? Actually, big lump upfield to nobody. Absolutely nobody. Just, if in doubt, get it out. 10-year-old football that was. Chaplin's in on goal, and a spectacular block. We are into injury time. We've got a free kick. Ferguson has it on the right-hand side. Basil's in the middle. 3 to pick from if he can get across away. McIntyre. Riedwald isn't paying enough attention, but it's gone through to Banks. Keep this one alive, my friend, on the left. Crosses in. Easily saved. Think the highlight is going to carry on, though. Walton wanders around his 6-yard box and a big kick upfield. We've got 4 minutes of injury time, so we need to hold on, or ideally get ourselves a 3rd goal would be lovely. Courtney Howells with the ball inside his own half, just about. Finds Banks on the left. Not really sure what you're trying there, mate. Banks loses out, and we've managed to get the ball back through a misplaced pass. Don Ballard, go for a long-range effort, mate. Go for a long-range effort. Don Ballard with a hat-trick, his 17th goal of the season, and we looked like we had beaten Ipswich. That's a big result. I think on paper, that performance was definitely up there with probably one of the better ones. Obviously, the 3 goals from Ballard, the tip of the iceberg, but also we played very well. Banks coming off the bench, getting himself an assist as well. Cavallini on a 7.1. Ferguson as well on a 7.1. Which we were actually good at football. And what does that mean for the league table? Well, it means that we are staying in 6th place. However, Sheffield United have dropped points against Coventry. A 3-3 draw, which means we are now 2 points clear. We are closing in on Hull, who have also just dropped points against Norwich. The problem is, next up in this episode, we're going to be playing Luton on camera, but we've also got to play, I think, Sheffield Wednesday as well. So we're going to jump forward, come back to the other side of the Wednesday game. In fact, we'll come back in time to play Luton, and we kind of need to beat Luton and Wednesday if we want to stay in this little, I guess, playoff fight. We're not getting automatic promotion, but we're certainly in the battle for playoffs. So I've just jumped forward a few more days, and the Luton game's been rearranged. Am I going crazy? Or are Luton games being rearranged all the time? Are they like in the cup still or something? They are. That's what... Right, okay, so Luton keep getting their games rearranged because they're on a decent cup run. Fair enough, that's fine. So we're not going to be playing Luton next in this episode. Instead, we're going to play Derby. I'm going to play the Sheffield Wednesday game off camera. We're going to come back for the Derby game on the 29th of March. We've also got our youth intake expected in March. It's a good intake. I'm not expecting anything. Right, it's now the 28th of March. We've had our youth intake, and this is the pick of the bunch. Aaron Doyle is a 15-year-old central defender. He's fast and 5'9". He's not a centre-back, is he? He's probably a left-back, although naturally he's a centre-back. We've not got a particularly good intake, if I'm honest. Apparently Nicky Hillaby also is going to be very good. He's got lots of potential. I'm not seeing it, honestly. Also, when we got our youth intake, we did also play Sheffield Wednesday, and we lost 2-1 Marcondes and Balanta, a player that I wanted to sign. In fact, I almost did sign in the summer with the goals. Mika Hamilton with the goal for us. It means as we go in to play Derby at Pride Park, we have dropped out of the playoffs once again. It's a 3-horse race. Sheffield United, Reading and Burnley are vying for that 6th place spot. Although, we're not too far behind Hull and Leeds, and we have to play both Hull and Leeds and Luton, and I think even Blackburn, don't we? No, we've played Blackburn fairly recently, which we beat them. So we have to play Luton, Hull, and Leeds, who are all battling for promotion or for playoffs. And then we've got some relatively easy games kind of sprinkled in the middle as well, which is quite nice. Let's play Derby County and see how we get on. So the starting lineup for the Derby County game then will be Cavallini in goal, Ferguson, Mepham, House and Guinness, Walker in defence, Offerborough and Hamilton in midfield, Banks, Aziz, Ballard and Pepra as our main striking threats for this. We are still missing Onyedinma, who's out injured for potentially up to 2 weeks. Kelvin's still out injured as well, 2 to 7 weeks still left on that injury. So we are getting back to full strength, but still not good enough in my opinion. Hopefully we're good enough to beat Derby. What I need to try and remind myself is us as a Reading side have overachieved massively. We were expected to finish second bottom, and we're definitely not relegated, put it that way, I know that much, but we are definitely going to be finishing probably 10th or above without question. So we've overachieved. Looking at the league table, actually, there is 13 points that separates like 6th down to like 15th. It's ridiculous. Aziz to Guinness Walker, 21 minutes on the clock. Ipswich have taken the lead against Watford. Don't know whether it's relevant. It's just there in the bottom corner. Pepra collects it for us across to Scott Banks, making that permanent signing in the summer, which is going to be very helpful for us. Ferguson cuts inside 5 in the box, maybe even 6. Offerborough's one of them, gets his 5th goal of the season. 21 minutes played. We take the lead against Derby. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I've done some ridiculously good signings this season for this Reading side. Ferguson is top-notch. Absolutely top-notch, I think. I was not expecting him to be as influential as he has been for us. The amount of assists he seems to get is mad. Obviously, with Mepham and House coming in January, and technically February, we've got some very good central defenders that realistically we should be building our team around going into next season. We've got Scott Banks on that right wing, who's been just ridiculous for us. Bringing back Don Ballard as well, another ridiculously good signing. Mika Hamilton in the centre of midfield. We have strengthened all over the place, even bringing in Cavallini as well recently. we've got ourselves a pretty decent championship side. I imagine, season preview for next season, they're going to say we're going to finish 10th, is my guess. Junker goes for goal. Junker puts it in the bottom corner. It's 1-1. I assume that's Junker and not Junker. We do kind of need to win this game, guys. We do have a game in hand over Sheffield United and Burnley, but we do need to make sure that we win it. I don't know what's going on with that camera. What happened there? Ferguson cross comes in. Ballard is there. And Ferguson almost gets himself a second assist of the game. Ballard heads over the bar. Final 20 minutes. This match has just flown by. Very little has happened. We're going to do some subs. Pepper off for Basil. We've got no strikers. If I could do January again, I would have brought a striker in and maybe not Jamal Lascelles. There we are. Basil's going to go up front. We're going to do Aziz coming off as we've got no wingers. Hamilton can go on the wing. And then Aziz can get dropped for Williams. Sure, Williams doesn't get a huge amount of game time, so we're going to give him a chance. Banks as well probably should come off, but we've got no right winger. 70 minutes played. Banks has the ball in the penalty area, but is easily dispossessed. And now Derby can possibly counter-attack. Young Coombs on the left-hand side plays it back to the goal scorer. Young Coombs again gets it on the left still. Offerer doesn't quite get there. Ulad Mahand. I bought that man before on a previous save, and I can't remember if he was any good or not. I don't think he was. I think he was terrible. Anyway, Derby have the ball from the clearance upfield from us. Offerer head forward. Hamilton doesn't quite manage to get there. Hinshelwood gets some space for himself, and Cavallina's save is not really convincing, but he does manage to stop it anyway. Corner for Derby then from the left-hand side. Burnley have taken the lead against Millwall in their match, which is not good. We don't need that to happen. Cavallina to Williams to Mepham. Right-hand side is Ferguson. Go on, fella. You're on a 7.7. You're playing ridiculous. Maybe we should put you on the right wing. Ferguson back to Offerer. Ball forward to Don Ballard. In the middle towards Williams. Just about finds him. Basil Tumer as a striker. It's not his position. He's barely a winger, if I'm honest. Ferguson collects it on the right-hand side. 3, 4, 5 maybe options in the middle. Cross comes in. Hamilton's one of them. Basil Tumer's the other. Big bad Basil scores headers for fun. Most of his goals that he scored are headers. I'm pretty sure he's still 5'6". He's 6'2". I swear he was 5'6" at one point, wasn't he? I swear Basil Tumer was 5'6" at the start of the set. Or was that Leai? Maybe I'm thinking, am I getting Leai and Tumer confused because they both play on the wings? Anyway, we've got ourselves another highlight. Derby coming forward with the ball. Oh, I thought we were going to nick the ball then. Instead, Hinshelwood finds Stevenson in the area. Immediate response. Literally, first highlight straight after the goal. And Derby are 2-2. We've got some poor performers on the pitch at the moment. Courtney House being one, Banks being another. We don't have the subs to really fix Banks at all. We're going to take off Courtney House and we're going to do Lascelles, I think, is going to come on. We'll swap you two round because I think Mepham as a ball player might be better. Ferguson's on an 8.3. I don't know what's going on there. Charlie Savage can play on the right wing. Maybe. Offerborough can apparently play on the right wing. That way round, sure. Is that all of our subs? Nope, we've got one more. All of our subs are kind of defensive-minded. Riedveld, yeah, probably. Do we put him on as a left-back? He can play there. I feel like it's not a good idea. I mean, he's actually not a bad left-back. Fair enough. On you come. Corner for Ferguson. 88th minute. Front post is Chris Mepham. And his first goal in Reading colours. Admittedly, the away colours, but still, it's a good kit. It's a lovely purple kit. We have taken the lead with barely 2 minutes left of normal time to play, and it is a hat-trick of assists for Nathan Ferguson. Also, Millwall have just equalised against Burnley, which is big, very, very big for us. We could do with Millwall winning that. The full-time whistle goes here at Pride Park. We pick up 3 more very valuable points. Basil Tumer with a goal, again from his head. I'm certain Basil Tumer was 5'6". Reading fortunate to beat Derby. Yep, you're damn right, but Nathan Ferguson he's been a superstar for us. He's not even, he's good. He's certainly good, but he's not that good, is he? He's only got 8 assists. He's just picked up 3 in that last match. Am I just misremembering how good Ferguson's been? Because every now and then he just has an absolute blinder, and it's normally on camera. So right now, with 39 games played for us, we sit in 7th place, but we have a game in hand, which that game in hand is against Luton. Of course it's against Luton, because of the rearrangement. So I'm not too convinced that we should be moving up. If we could beat Luton, that would be very helpful, and I'm sure Blackburn would love us as well if we managed to do that, because it means they can kind of close that gap, maybe even leapfrog Luton into 2nd place. Next episode, we are going to finish the regular season of Season 2, which will be the Luton game, unless they've managed to get to an FA Cup semi-final. It's also going to be Hull, and it's going to be Leeds, and maybe Coventry. We're possibly going to have 4 games in the next episode, and then, assuming we finish in the top 5, make that top 6, we're going to have ourselves another episode in Season 2, which will be the entirety of the Championship playoffs, which might end after 2 matches, it might end after 3. So then it all comes down to this, the final regular episode of Season 2. There might be a 5th episode of Season 2 if we get into the Championship playoffs. However, we do have a bit of a task in order to do that. We first of all need to play Luton Town, who are currently 2nd place in the league. If we win that, we will move up into 6th place in the table. But as you can see from the league table, anyone up to probably Sunderland are still in this battle for possibly just 6th place. We do still have 6 games left to play of this season. Since the last episode, I think we've just played 1 match, if I'm not mistaken, which was the 1-1 draw against Sunderland. Peprah with the only goal of the game for us, but we did concede as well in the 86th minute through Dan Neil. We're going to be playing Luton and Hull in this episode, and then maybe Leeds, maybe Coventry. Basically, whatever decides where we finish in the table, I'm going to try and do on camera. It might be a 4-match episode. I don't know. The starting lineup then for the Luton game is going to be Cavlina, Ferguson, Mepham, House and Guinness, Walker, Offerborough and Hamilton in midfield, Banks, Aziz, Ballard and Peprah up front. I'm going to swap you 2 around because I will need Ballard really playing as that advanced forward. When you look at our injuries, if we scroll down, we are only missing Kelvin. Onyedinma really is, he's played too much football because he's just come back from an injury and we kind of keep playing him accidentally. So we're going to just not have him in the squad so we're not tempted to play him on that left-hand side. Let's see how we can do against recently relegated Luton. I say recently as if like we're in like August. They've been relegated all season. They've been basically not in the Premier League all year, haven't they? But they are looking to bounce straight back up into the Premier League. They really do want to win this. This is their game in hand. If they lose, Blackburn can leap over them into 2nd place as well. So it is in their interest to not throw these 3 points away, very much like it is in our interest as well. Courtney House to Offerborough on that right-hand side. Ferguson needs to make a run. Doesn't bother running, or Offerborough just passed him a little bit too early. And now Luton Town can come forward down that left-hand side. Giles with it. No real options apart from Paul Onuachu, apparently, who's there. And it's fallen for Jacob Brown at the back post. Luton take the lead after just 6 minutes. And 5 minutes later, potentially, Luton can double their lead. Giles with the headed effort this time goes wide of Cavallina's post. Luton so far looking like the much better side. We are having a lot of possession, not doing much with it by the looks of things. We kind of have to expect to basically lose this game, don't we? I know it's our game in hand and we would like to win it, but if there's ever a game that we kind of expect to lose, it's against teams who have just been relegated from the Premier League and maybe Norwich, who are currently top of the table. Doherty with the ball on the left for Luton, crosses it in, Brown's there at the back. Brown cannot get his headed effort down, so it stays 1-0 to Luton. But we've got nothing to show at all, have we? Another chance for Luton, 29 minutes on the clock, and Tom Lockyer makes it 2-0. We are disappearing without a fight in this. Or maybe not. Maybe this is the comeback. Offerborough to Hamilton, plays it forward to Ferguson on the ground, finds Banks towards Aziz. It's fallen for Peprah. He somehow managed to convert that in. That was intentional as well. It's 2-1. We're back in this game. Peprah as well has 5 goals this season. He's not very good. Doherty with a corner though for Luton straight after our goal, and almost Onuachu heads that one into the top corner. Final 5 minutes of the first half. I've just seen we've had 1 shot and scored it. 5 minutes of injury time to play as well. We're going to get a highlight just before the whistle goes. Hopefully, we're paying enough attention. Who's number 21? Banks really could not be bothered to chase back for that. Doherty crosses it in towards Brown at the back post, and Jacob Brown has his second of the game, which was almost identical to his first. Right, it looks like Ferguson's picked up a knock as well. I feel like what are we doing? Courtney House is on a 6-1. Ferguson's on a 6.2. I don't even know what I've said there. Ferguson's going to come off for Yeardom. House is going to come off for Jamal Lascelles. I think we have to do that, basically for performance, but also the injury as well for Ferguson. Ferguson played so well earlier on. And by earlier on, I mean last episode. Free kick for Luton from the right-hand side. Doherty, again, he has been the danger man. I think it was Harry Suter hits the base of the post and it's cleared. That is going to end that highlight. Yeardom making a rare appearance in a Reading shirt this season. Spent the first half out on loan at Oxford. Tried to extend it. They didn't want to. Peprah with some space. Peprah really should have put that in the bottom corner, not the top. We've had 2 shots, both of them on target. Both of them from Kwame Peprah. and only one of them finding the back of the net. We've just had a third shot. Apparently it wasn't very good. Guinness Walker with a throw to Hamilton. 64 minutes. Gets some space as well to Hamilton. Across to Offerer. Now Banks facing away from goal. Yeardom. Cross it. He doesn't cross it. He's gone for goal himself. Aziz picks up the loose ball. His control's not the best. Ballard doesn't want to shoot because he'll kick Kaminsky square in the teeth. And we have not managed to put that ball away. Luton dodging a bit of a bullet there. Mepham. Ball forward to Offerer. Right-hand side's where we want to go. Or maybe not. Banks eventually goes to that right-hand side. Offerer collects it from Yeardom to Hamilton. Trying to pass our way through. Dommy Ballard's effort is just wide. Whistles past that far post. It was a good effort, but because he didn't score it, he's dropped down to a 6.3. Hamilton to Offerer. In towards Pepper. Spins. Has to score. And Kwame Pepper gets his second of the match. His sixth of the season. For like £20,000, he's been a bargain. I keep saying that he's not very good. But he's clearly all right, isn't he? He's clearly doing the job. He's getting some goals, getting in the right places, getting the shots away. So he's not awful. It is Luton, though, with a throw in a very good position. Doherty's been causing us problems all game so far. Brown also causing us problems. This time, can't get it on target. 20 minutes to try and find an equaliser. And in order to do that, we're going to do the rest of our subs. I think Ballard is coming off for Leai, which I'm not convinced by. We kind of have to do it. Basil Tumer's coming on the right-hand side as well. And then one of you two's coming off fitness. We're going to go for Hamilton, which is a risk, but I'm seeing more from Offerer on actual highlights. So Videwald is going to be coming on. That is all of our changes. 15 minutes of normal time to play. There is another goal in this game, and I'm hoping it is going our way. Aziz collects it, goes for a little run, cuts inside across to Big Bad Basil, who is a big lad. We forgot he's a big lad. Not the best pass from Tumer, but not the best clearance either. And I thought that went in then. I thought Aziz just blasted that into the back of the net. Instead, it goes wide. Final 5 minutes. I mean, we're going to have to try and push up a little bit. The time's just disappeared. No highlights are going on whatsoever. 4 minutes of injury time. One final chance. This is going to be a goal and it's going either way. Serge Aurier goes for a run direct towards goal. And Aurier's almost scored. Adebayo's managed to collect it. Plays it back to Brown. Now, Tyra, is that his name? I'm not quite sure. I nearly called him Tiara. It's Tyra. It's gone wide. It is a corner. It is a corner. The Cavallina must have saved it. Still, we have time. 2.5 minutes of injury time. Brown is the man to take it. On hat-trick, by the way, is Brown. It's taking forever, because why not? You're winning the game, let's be honest. You may as well take forever. Mepham's head just goes up into the air. Who was that who just did a bicycle kick? Was that Serge Aurier? It was Serge Aurier just tried a bicycle kick in the 90th minute. Well, fair play to Luton. They were the better side. Let's be honest, they were the better side. But we didn't do too bad. It's a shame we didn't get a point out of it, but away from home at Kenilworth Road, I think you kind of have to expect a defeat there. Pepra with an 8.3 though, good lad. So, with 5 games left to play, we are just outside of the playoffs on goal difference. It is goal difference that separates us from the playoffs at the moment. We've got 5 games left to play. We are going to go forward to play West Brom off camera and we'll return for Hull, which is, again, a must-win game. If we can beat Hull, all of a sudden this gets a bit more interesting because, in theory, we're dragging Hull down into this fight as well. Right, it's a Friday night in April, and as you can see from the league table, we have dropped down to 9th place because we drew with West Brom. We drew our match with West Brom. It was a 0-0 draw, but Burnley managed to beat Watford, pushing them ahead of us in the table. Ipswich managed to beat Cardiff, pushing them ahead of us in the table. Hull beating Sunderland, which means arguably they can't be caught now. Sheffield United beating Swansea. It did not go our way. It certainly did not go our way. This is probably the lowest position in the table where we can finish right now. We've still got 4 games to go. Let's see how we get on against Hull. So the starting 11 then is very similar to what we would normally play. Cavallina in goal, Ferguson, Lascelles, Mepham and Guinness Walker coming in. Courtney House has been dropped because he's been pretty shocking the last few matches that we played him in on camera at the very least. Offenbach and Hamilton in midfield. Banks, Onyedinma, Pepra and Dom Ballard leading the lines. We have almost got Kelvin back. He's got 9 days. I feel like he might miss the whole season now. So one benefit to this, we are at home. Obviously Hull are a good side. They're currently in 5th. I don't think they've secured playoff football, but they are not far off from securing playoff football, so they do want to make sure they keep winning some games. Lascelles heads upwards, and Jaden Philogene on the volley makes it 1-0 to Hull after just 3 minutes. Magical. And a minute or so later, we've got another highlight, starting with Hull coming forward from the back. It is Philogene once again loses out this time to Ferguson. That's good. Right. Can we maybe do something? Lascelles goes for a little wander, former Newcastle man. keeps going for a wander, plays it all the way back to the goalkeeper. I'm not sure that's what we wanted to be doing, guys. Mepham now, are you going to go for a wander? Guinness Walker on the left-hand side, down the line to Onyedinma, missed a couple of matches through fitness concerns. Mepham in the middle is Offerborough, that's where we need to be going, or Hamilton, that'll do. We'll take Hamilton. Peprah to Don Ballard, with a bit of space, goes for a long-range effort, tucks it into the bottom corner. Don Ballard gets his 18th goal of the season, and we equalise soon after they scored. I don't know whether it's worth us keeping an eye on the league table to see what's going on, or whether we just need to focus on what we're doing. Just win as many games as we possibly can, and not bolt it up like that. So with that goal, that now means that we are 5 points behind Sheffield United, because Sheffield United have taken the lead against Blackburn. Philogene's effort is blocked, but Gabriel Perez goes for goal. Philogene keeps it in play. Hamilton's fouled him. I don't know what's happened there. Is it a corner? I thought that was going to be a penalty. It is not a penalty. Gabriel Perez steps up to take the corner. Header upwards by Lascelles. Botius heads off for a goal kick. Okay, we've dodged another bullet. I think if we don't win this, we aren't getting into the playoffs. I think that's pretty much how we're going to see it. Mepham with a free kick for us just before half-time. Going in at half-time 2-2, I'll take. It'll be okay. We can do something in the second half and maybe get the 3 points we need. Ferguson collects it, tries to cross it in, he does. It's not quite clear, it is now clear. Longman's going to go for a run-off onto the right-hand side for Hull. Is this going to be a Hull chance from this highlight? Because we didn't shoot. So I'd argue that wasn't a highlight for us. Longman keeps going. Guinness Walker nicks it. Highlight does just end there. And it stays 2-1 to Hull at half-time. We've been shocking. We've been absolutely appalling. I don't even know what I said there. I just clicked the top one because it's the angriest one we can click. No changes for us at half-time, although defensively we are looking shoddy. On the wings as well, actually. Both of our wingers, Banks and Onyedinma, 6'4" and a 6'5". Peprah to Offerborough. Now Hamilton can go for a little wander. Banks on the right-hand side. I want to see something from you. Hamilton again. Ball over to Fred. On the left. Heads down to Ballard. Effort is blocked. Onyedinma keeps this one alive, though. I think that was a shot. I think he genuinely had a shot there. Ingram can hold the ball, take his time, let Hull City regroup a little bit. And Garlo, or Nagalo? I guess it's Nagalo, isn't it? It's not. There's no, apostrophe. It is Slater. He's going to go for a little run now forward. This is a Hull highlight, isn't it? This is genuinely a Hull highlight. Longman cross comes in. Oscar's there. Lascelles just about in front of him. Philogene's going to probably cross it. Perez goes for a long-range effort. Whistles over the bar. Now, a draw won't be good, but it's better than a defeat. A draw will kind of still somewhat keep us in this battle, but a defeat definitely won't keep us in this battle. It's Botius in the penalty area. Feel like there's going to be a penalty or something stupid happening in a minute. Banks' clearance is awful because he's cleared it to where he should be. We're on the 68th minute already. We're going to do a whole host of changes. So, left-hand side, we're going to do... Let's do Yeadom, sure. Let's give you another chance, mate. I'm expecting you to leave at the end of the season, but right now, I feel like we kind of need you. Scott Banks is coming off as well for Basil. Fred's coming off for Aziz. Do we want to do any other changes? Mepham's not playing well. Ferguson's not playing well either. There we go. Right. So you've seen what I've done there. Holmes, Yeadom, Savage, Chuma and Aziz all coming on. A whole bunch of boys leaving. We're just going to go straight in to the final 22 minutes. We can't do anything else other than just cross our fingers and hope that somebody can play football for us. Because right now, nobody really is. Yeadom with a throw, playing as a left-back to Aziz. Two subs so far combining. Cuts inside. Tries to find Offerborough. Can't quite get there. And Offerborough does a slide tackle to not... I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, I'm honestly not sure what's going on. Aziz has just equalised. We'll take it. We'll definitely take that. It's 2-2. A whole bunch of substitutes involved in that. And Offerborough doing some weird slide tackles. Right, now get the winner, guys. Get the winner, and all of a sudden, this becomes a lot more interesting. 4 points behind Sheffield United because they are winning. Savage with a free kick. Long range effort. There was no way you were scoring that, mate. I don't know what Charlie Savage had for breakfast, but it certainly was not enough. Final few minutes. Sheffield Wednesday have just taken the lead against Coventry. I don't think it's really going to matter. A point against Hull at home. I guess we have to... The second half performance. This is like a skate park. What is that? We got the draw. We got a draw. I'll take it. We shouldn't have been ballsing that up. The early goals were not good, especially the Botius one was not good. With 3 games left, Norwich have confirmed themselves as promoted, not champions just yet, but realistically, nobody's going to catch them. We are down in 8th place, so we're ahead of Ipswich. We are at least ahead of one team. There is 9 points up for grabs in the final 3 games, but we are 4 points behind Burnley and Sheffield United. And I think we're just going to go forward to the other side of the Birmingham game and see where we are. So we've picked up 3 more points against Birmingham, which has made things a lot more interesting because Sheffield United and Burnley... Sheffield United, I believe, lost. If we scroll down, Sheffield United lost against Bolton. Burnley drew with Sunderland, which means all of a sudden, this is a little bit more interesting again. The problem is, we've got Leeds next, which I guess we're going to have to see what happens in the Leeds game. Because if we lose, it's basically over, I think. It's basically over if we lose against Leeds, unless both Burnley and Sheffield United also lose. Burnley are playing Swansea away from home, mid-table Swansea. Sheffield United are playing QPR away from home. I feel like both of them are going to win, don't you? Right, let's play Leeds then. We're at home for this one. It's going to be, I think, I don't need to go through the squad there. It's basically the same squad that we always seem to play, which is good. We've got a nice little bit of consistency going. So, let's play Leeds. We have to win this. If we don't win this, I think it's practically impossible for us to finish in the playoffs. We have gone straight into a highlight from kickoff. I don't like the look of that, although we have the ball. Fred Onyedinma's got it on the left-hand side. In the middle is it's Woba. Woba's put the ball in. Maximilian Woba has just scored an own goal after 15 seconds. What has happened? What has gone on there? If I was the Leeds manager, I'd sub him. I'd take him straight off the pitch. I'd be done with you at that point. That's awful. It's not enough to move us up into 6th place right now, though, because Burnley are getting a point from their game, which they're actually getting 3 points because they're winning. That's not what we need. It's not what we need. Swansea, you need to win a game. I feel like I'm going to spend so much of this match looking at the scorelines of the other teams around us. Sheffield United have also taken the lead in their game. So, right now, we're not moving in the table. We're staying down the bottom end. I say the bottom end. We're staying where we are. Onyedinma on that left-hand side. It's not the best pass. Ballard maybe could have gambled. Didn't really want to, apparently. Meslier with it in his hands then. 26 minutes. 1-0 so far because of Maximilian Woba. Thank you very much, mate. Meslier eventually decides he wants to kick the ball upfield straight to one of our players. Guinness Walker to Onyedinma. In the middle is Hamilton. Hamilton needs a bit of support. He's been absolutely clattered, and we've still managed to keep hold of the ball. Offenborough to Banks. He doesn't quite get there. Offenborough nicks it off, though. That's good. Pepra loses out. Banks has nicked it again. In the middle to Dommy Ballard. And Ballard doubles our lead. His 20th goal of the season. And we really need that goal. Because if we... like a 1-0 lead against Leeds is not good. Because it means if they score a goal, all of a sudden that lead is gone. It's a draw. 2-0. We've now got a little bit of a cushion. QPR have just missed a penalty. QPR have just missed a penalty against Sheffield United. Swansea are still not doing anything that we really need them to do. If we scroll down, they are 2-0 down. QPR have equalised. Hold on. So what's happening at half-time? I'm happy. I think we might be into... I want to say second. Hold on. What's happened there? We're up into 6th? What's happened? Oh, my word. Swansea have just scored 2 in the last 5 minutes of the first half, and we're up into 6th place. What has happened? Ferguson with a throw for us to Mepham. Now Offenborough, 58 minutes. Obviously, we didn't do anything at half-time. Sinister has nicked it off. And is he going to go for goal? Nope, he's lost out to Greenwood. And his effort just goes over the bar. Right, we need to do some changes. It looks like Burnley have retaken the lead in their game because they've jumped back up into 6th place. We are going to do a couple of switches. And I'm looking at fitness. And is that what we should be doing? Because this is a match that we need to win. Although we've got a 2-goal lead with 20 minutes to play. We're going based on fitness, which could be a bad thing to do, but we're going for it. So anyone who's looking a bit too tired, we're going to take off. Aziz is coming on as a striker. I'm not convinced by that. Chuma and Savage as well into midfield or on the wing and into central midfield. We just need to not lose. Just don't lose. I say don't lose. Just don't draw the game, to be honest. I would love it if QPR could score another. That would help us out massively. Burnley are 4-2 now, so it looks like unless Swansea can score 2 more late goals in this second half, that would be magical, but I don't think it's going to happen. But we are up into 7th. Are we up into 7th? We are up into 7th. Okay. Right, the 2-0 win then confirmed. That is a very good result. Very good defensive performance as well. And I think because of the way those results have gone, we have to play the final game in the season on camera, which is against 20th place Coventry, who are in a relegation scrap. I do not like the fact that we're playing against a team who might get relegated. This is going to be the starting lineup then for the final game of the season against Coventry. It is essentially, I think it is the same as what we played in the last match. So we're not going to bother going through it. I don't even know who the other teams are playing. Probably should know that. Now, we should be good enough to win this. I'm not too concerned about our performance here. I mean, I should be, because Coventry are in a relegation battle, but we need to look at what Burnley are doing specifically, because we need to better Burnley's result. If they win against Norwich, they're playing Norwich, who aren't champions. Oh, is it all falling into place? Is it all falling into place? I mean, it's not going to if Coventry take the lead here, isn't it? It is Bulmer, that's his name, he said Palmer. Bulmer back to Martin. Are we going to try and nick this, or is this going to be an early chance for Coventry? De Silva back to Bulmer. In the middle is Martin again. Off towards the right-hand side is Chalobah. I think this is the second time we've played Coventry on camera, isn't it? Smith goes forward. Van Uwijk, could be his name, not quite sure. Offerer doesn't quite steal it off Sheath. And now Sims spins, goes for goal. It's a good save from Cavallina. It's going to be a corner though, so the danger is not over just yet. O'Hare is the man to take it from the right-hand side. Where's it going to go? Towards the back post. Smith is there. He heads over the bar. 0-0 so far. Coventry looking better, but we've only seen one highlight. Ferguson with a throw for us. Still 0-0 in the other game that we really care about. We do need to know what's going on in the Sheffield United game, but if we win, it's irrelevant what happens in that game. Guinness Walker with the ball on the left-hand side. Needs a runner. Has to go back to Courtney House. And his pass is awful. I was debating whether I should play Courtney House. And I thought, after the game against Leeds, we played defensively well. So I thought, give him another game. And if he passes like that again, he's coming off. Fred Onyedinma's nicked the ball there. That's what we like to see. Use your pace, mate. Use your pace. He's lost out, though, to Van Uwijk. And now Smith to Sheath. Back to Van Uwijk on that right-hand side. Over the top to Sims. Ellis Sims cuts inside, plays it through to right. He's rattled the underside of the bar. Mepham clears. Hamilton calmly heads down to Banks as well. And Derby are beating Sheffield United. That's a good bit of news. We just need Norwich to do their job. And then we do our job. And we actually finish in 6th. Cavallina with a goal kick. 27 minutes played. Courtney House, left-hand side is Guinness Walker. That's what we want to be doing. Forward again to Onyedinma. Maybe not. House is going to go for a run. Mepham, right-hand side's Ferguson. I do like Ferguson. I don't know why, but there's something about Ferguson that I really like. He's cut inside and passed it questionably, but he's managed to find Onyedinma. It's good. Down the line is Guinness Walker. Is he going to whip in across? There's 3 in the box and a couple lurking outside. Banks is one of them. Banks' headed effort is not on target. Goes over. Still 0-0. But we're looking okay. I'm not too concerned right now. Ferguson with a throw to Banks. Back to Ferguson. Get the early crossing. Or not. Cut inside. Do a little spin. Get tackled by De Silva. What was that all about, mate? What was that all about? Right, we've got it. Another chance. Hamilton in the middle. It's Mepham. It's Ferguson. Down the line? Maybe not. No one's decided to run down the line. I guess we're playing an inside forward, so it makes sense that he cuts inside. Pepra, he's in on goal. He's gone for a cheeky dink. He's gone for a cheeky dink. This is not the time, mate. And the highlights carried on as well, which is a bit of a worry. It's a massive worry when Mepham does that. And oh my word, O'Hare's gone for an absolute rocket. And thankfully for us, he was just as bad as Pepra. We've got a corner. Ferguson's gone over to take it from the left. The right back needs to stick it on somebody's head. Mepham is the man. It's off the underside of the bar, and it's a penalty. We've got ourselves a penalty. Who's taken it? Number 21, it is Banks. Scott Banks is the man to step up and take the penalty. I should know who takes our penalty, shouldn't I? Oh my word, we're never going to score. Ferguson with the corner then. We have to score. We have to win this game. We can't not win this game. We get another chance from the corner. Ferguson takes it again. Number 23 is the man we want to be putting on their head. It's towards Courtney House. It's cleared by the keeper. It's still not quite cleared enough though, or maybe it is. At least the game thinks it is. I'm keeping an eye on that Norwich-Burnley game because that is the one that we need. We need Norwich to win that. We really do. We should be winning this. I don't like what I've seen. I'm just going to go straight into the second half. No changes, but hopefully that team talk has fired them up just enough. Mepham with a free kick after 3 minutes into the second half. Ferguson back to Mepham. Wrong way, guys. Hamilton, Offerborough on the ground finds Banks. We need Ferguson to carry on his run. He didn't bother. Offerborough now through ball. Pepra finds Banks. Banks is in on goal. And Scotty Banks makes it 1-0, his 13th of the season. We're doing our job. We really need Norwich to do theirs. Oh, and as we score, Jonathan Rowe has put Norwich in front, which means we will move up into 6th place. Oh my word. Is it actually going to happen? Are we actually going to do this on goal difference? It's not even goal difference. We're actually going to potentially do this on merit at this point. It's Hamilton with the ball to Onyedinma on the left-hand side. 60 minutes played. What a weird ball that is. Who was that aiming for? Was that a shot? Was that a cross? Certainly wasn't a highlight. So Norwich and Burnley. Norwich have got two. It's 2-1 now. I'm not quite sure what's gone on, but a couple more goals have gone in. But thankfully for us, Norwich are still the ones in the driving seat. Guinness Walker, Hamilton on Yadimma, now Don Ballard gets past his man, keeps going, Ballard across to Pepper, long range effort from the Ghanaian, and Kwame Pepper, number 7 of the season, number 2 for Reading on the night, and we are looking good, and I genuinely can't believe I'm saying this, we might be getting into the playoffs. We actually might be getting into the playoffs. Burnley have equalised, but goal difference. Goal difference. Our goal difference is better than Burnley, so even if that's a draw, we will go up into 6th place. I did not even think that was possible. Ferguson with a throw. We haven't done any subs. I feel like I should if we're going to do some playoffs in a minute. Offenborough with the ball, goes backwards all the way to Courtney House. Guinness Walker with acres of space, doesn't want to use it, just stands still and passes it instead. Guinness Walker again, 4 in the box, back to Hamilton, across to Offenborough. It's not the best pass, and now Coventry, in a relegation scrap, can get the ball upfield, but we've nicked it. House all the way back to Cavlina. On the ground to Mepham. Final 10 minutes are approaching. We need to do some subs, don't we? We really need to get some subs underway. We're going to do all 5 in one hit. Ballard back to Mepham. Ball on the ground to Offenborough. Not a good pass, and Ferguson's not paying enough attention either. Stevanovic to Chimetti. He has to go backwards. Van Uwijk on that right-hand side for Coventry. Crosses it in. If they score, I'm going to be very concerned. What was Cavlina doing? You literally only have yourself to blame for that, mate. You only have yourself to blame. Right, we're still winning the game, but that could be kind of disastrous, couldn't it? Right, 5 changes then with 10 minutes to go. Lascelles, McIntyre, Savage, Aziz and Leai coming on. I've had to move Lascelles into centre-back, and Courtney House is going to play the last few minutes as a left-back, but we just need to not concede. If we concede now, this is bottle job territory, isn't it? This is definitely bottle job territory. I'm hoping this is a highlight because of the subs. I think it is. Also, we don't want Norwich to balls this up, because if Norwich balls this up for us, it's also not good. Into injury time, we've got 5 minutes to play. We just need to hold on. Norwich need to hold on or score a winner would be lovely. The full-time whistle goes. I think we've done it. I think we're into the playoffs, and we were not good. Coventry definitely pushed us, especially in the second half, definitely pushed us to our limits. But I think, I don't know what I've just said there, that was probably a bad thing. I think we're in the playoffs. We are in the playoffs. Norwich are champions. We are in the playoffs because Norwich basically didn't lose to Burnley. How have we done that? That is absolutely insane how we've managed to do that. Also, Coventry, you're welcome. You didn't get relegated. Watford and Birmingham go down. Huddersfield have just seen on 17 points. They may as well not have bothered to turn up. Well, I guess with that then, it does mean that we are going to have an episode 5 of Season 2, which is going to be the playoffs. And do we even know who we're going to be playing against? I imagine we probably do, technically. We're probably playing Blackburn. So next episode is going to be, I'm taking a wild guess here, but it's going to be a doubleheader against Blackburn and then a final against Hull. That's my guess. I don't know why it'll be Hull, but that's what we're going to go with. In the last episode, we needed to make sure that we won our game against Coventry and hoped that Burnley did not win their match against eventual champions Norwich, and exactly that happened. It meant that we jumped up into 6th place. 79 points on the board, a positive 17 goal difference, which is 4 more goals than Burnley, which means today we are into the Championship playoffs just 1 season after we got promoted from League One. And our opponents are a very good side in the shape of Blackburn Rovers. If we take a look at their recent fixtures, they've not been particularly great. Their last 5 games, they've lost twice against Derby and Sheffield United, beating Coventry, drawing with Cardiff as well. We have played them and beaten them 3-0, and then I think earlier on in the season they beat us like 3-1. We've beaten them twice. We've actually beaten Blackburn twice so far this season, which means we should, in theory, be favourites for this. The starting lineup for the home leg then will be pretty much as good as we can get, with Cavlina in goal, Ferguson, Mepham, House and Guinness Walker in defence, Offenborough and Hamilton in midfield, Banks, Onyedinma, Ballard and Pepper leading the lines. We do have Kelvin back from his injury, but he's not quite ready to play yet. He will be coming on in the second half. So I was utterly convinced that we had lost to Blackburn earlier on in the season, but apparently not. We did beat them twice so far, and I'm hoping that is because we're just better than them. We've just got their number, and no matter how well they play, what formation they play, we should just be good enough and actually just do the job, win the game, win both legs. That would be absolutely magical. 5 minutes on the clock. Blackburn have the free kick. It is Hyam on the right-hand side. Has to go backwards to Pickering. Close him down, buddy. Close him down. Eventually got there. Or didn't even get close, did he? And it is Blackburn still coming forward. We need to nick this ball. I can see something happening. There you go. Don Ballard is the man to do it. That's what we wanted to see. Pepra plays it back to Onyedinma, who I think has been a really good signing for us so far this season. Obviously, there's only 3 games left to play. Not the best pass back, but Cavallina is there. Across to Mepham, the former Bournemouth man. Now Offerer, right-hand side is a couple of options. Ballard is one. It's found Banks. Left-hand side is now Onyedinma. We need a runner from Guinness Walker if we can. This is a long, long highlight. So I think there's a goal, and that's not what we wanted to see. Batty has stolen the ball away from a misplaced pass from Mepham. Mepham is chasing him back, though, every single step of the way, but it's not good enough. And Blackburn take the lead after 6 minutes and 20 seconds. If we lose this match because of a misplaced pass, I'm not going to be too impressed. I mean, looking at the match stats, obviously only 15 minutes in, and we've yet to have a single shot. It looks like Blackburn are the better side at the moment. And let's face it, they have finished third in the table. Ball upfield, Onyedinma though intercepts it. Ballard doesn't manage to win that head, and Rankin Costello now plays the ball through to Leonard, and his effort is dinked over the goalkeeper. It's 2-0. Oh, this is not what we wanted to be seeing. This is really not what we wanted to be seeing. Onyedinma error, that's how you say it. An Onyedinma error this time means that is 2 effectively misplaced passes to give them 2 goals. Pepra with a free kick for us. Get a goal here, get us back into the game. Ferguson needs to keep this one alive. He's gone for an overhead kick. He's gone for an overhead kick from there. You're a right back, and you're not good at striking. We've managed to get a corner from something. I'm not quite sure what. Scotty Banks has gone over to take it from the right. Where is it going to go? Towards the front post. Mepham is there. It's a ridiculously good save by the goalkeeper. We get another chance from the corner. We need to go in with at least a goal to our name. 2-1 at half-time is something we can claw back. 2-0 is pretty big. Mepham has made amends for his cock-up earlier on in the match. It is 2-1. 24 minutes played. Right, let's get a second. And all of a sudden, this looks pretty interesting, doesn't it? Obviously, we've still got... I mean, there's still 15 minutes left to play in the first half. If we can get there first, we do. Offerer can find Mika Hamilton. 4 in the box, maybe. Hamilton finds Banks, gets the assist for the first goal. Banks to Offerer, plays it across, finds Ferguson on the right-hand side. 3, 4 in the box. He's at the post. He's hit the post. He's gone for an overhead kick, and now he's at the post. He's a right back. You shouldn't be doing that kind of thing. Free kick for Banks in a good position. He's tried to find Ferguson, and Ferguson's effort is just wide. All of his efforts have been horrendous, but at least he's having some. Rankin Costello with a throw for Blackburn. Are they going to get the ball in? Travis doesn't quite get there. Hamilton does for us, and now the counter-attack is on. Pepra's got acres of space. Pepra needs that ball and does get the ball. Onyedinma's there as well if he wants to use him. Plays it backwards, not the pass that we wanted. Pepra's going to try and keep it alive. Invites Guinness Walker forward. 3 in the box. Maybe more joining towards Pepra. It's not a good cross. And Blackburn can possibly counter-attack of their own. Leonard, one of the goal scorers, through to Sammy Smodzik. Not sure if that's how it's said at all. He's in on goal. And I'm not even sure how that managed to find its way in the back of the net. It is 3-1 to Blackburn. We need to get another goal again. I'm not sure who we're blaming for that. I think the game is blaming Guinness Walker, by the looks of it, as he's dropped down to a 6.4. Cavallina's on a 6.3. I imagine they've had, 4 shots on target, and 3 of them have found their way in the net. Hyam to Pickering. 5 minutes left of the first half. A lot is going on so far. Travis to Bajcetic. Probably not his name, is it? Rankin Costello tries to cross it in. He does. And oh my word, I think we might be solving Cavallina. Because that is 2 efforts that he definitely should have saved within the space of 5 minutes. He's dropped down to a 6.1 from that. They've had 4 shots on target and scored 4. If you look at the match stats in isolation from the scoreline, you'd think it might be 1-1, maybe 2-1 to Blackburn. Nope, we are playing... I know, I said we're playing awfully. We're not playing awfully. We're just not playing well in goal and defence. Going forward, we seem to be doing okay. We're having some chances. We're keeping Cavallina on, which is possibly a risk, because he is an absolute liability, and I think we might not play him in the second match, because we've got Boyce, I've forgotten his name, Boyce Clark, is that it? He's a very good backup goalkeeper. Banks has the ball. We're 18 seconds into the second half. Maybe we're going to get ourselves a very early goal in the second half, which could be very interesting. Pepra gets the ball in. He's hit the base of the post. He's hit the post. We've arguably had the better chances, but Blackburn, look at those match ratings for Blackburn as well. Absolutely ridiculous performances from everyone in a Blackburn shirt. And then we've got Don Ballard, who's on a 7.1. Right, Let's do a whole load of changes then. Leai is coming on. Kavlina is coming off. Boyce Clark is going to come on. I've had enough of you, mate. Guinness Walker for McIntyre. Pepra as well for Kelvin. That's all of our changes that we're going to do for the moment. We've still got one more to go. We've got higher XG than them as well. I know XG is not really a thing that matters, but we've got higher XG and we've scored literally 1 goal to their 4. Ferguson goes for a wander forward, gets past a couple of players, finds Kelvin. First match back since his injury. Leai on that left. He's got 3 in the box. Kelvin's one of them, and that's a stupid save from the goalkeeper. They've literally got a brick wall in goal. Ainsley Pears, I saved arguably 2 very good shots. We've got an XG of 2.0. They've got an XG of 1.5, and they're going to win 4-1 at this rate. I cannot believe that we have lost this in that fashion. In that fashion. How have we lost it so badly? Our star player played 30 minutes. They played 30 minutes. That was ridiculous. Right, Kavlina, a terrible performance. You deserve to get substituted. Do we want to say anything to anyone else? Fred was bad as well. Guinness Walker was not very good. I'm furious with your performance. Right, well, we've got one more match against Blackburn. We'll need to win at least 3-0. This is probably a risk, but we're going to go for it. The same starting 11. I'm thinking they can't play anywhere near as bad as they did in the last match. I'm tempted, very tempted to give Kelvin a start. Actually, we're going to do that, and then we're going to swap you two round, because Ballard, as that advance forward, is where he gets his goals. So Kelvin and Ballard up front, that's the only change we're going to do. Everyone else stays exactly the same. We need to win 3-0. We have had games in the past, over the last couple of seasons, where we have been good enough to win games 3-0. We've won games by 3 goals as well. We're going to have to go attacking, which is a huge risk to go attacking from the off, but we need the goals. The problem is as well, Blackburn are just going to sit back, aren't they? They've got nothing to fight for here, nothing to play for. They may as well just play 9 players behind the ball and just hope for the best. They've got themselves a corner as well. After 19 minutes, corner comes in towards the front post. It's game over. It's game over. Gianmarco Ferrari makes it 1-0, 5-1 on aggregate. We now need to win 4-1 in this game, which is possible. Blackburn did it in the last one, but it's not going to happen, is it? It's especially not going to happen with no highlights taking place. We've had 1 shot. We've now had a second shot, which also wasn't on target. It's a free kick to Blackburn. If they get... What is Kavlina doing? What was he doing? He dived the wrong way. Luckily for us, the ball was nowhere near on target. And somehow Kavlina's jumped up to a 7.0 rating there very briefly. I don't know what's going on. We are doing nothing. We've had 4 shots, not a single one on target. Half-time, it is 1-0 to Blackburn. And, I mean, what's going on? That is one of the worst halves of football I've seen, and we've just lost the game 4-1. Straight into the second half, no changes yet. But I'm looking... Ballard's playing badly, Kelvin's playing badly. I imagine, because they've got, 7 defenders? We're just not going to break through that, are we? I'm going to give him a demand more, see if it makes a difference. I imagine it probably won't make a blind bit of difference. 67 minutes played. There's no highlights. There's 1 highlight so far in this game, and it resulted in a goal for Blackburn. Guinness Walker to Onyedinma. If we score now, it means pretty much nothing, doesn't it? Ball's cleared. We're going to hopefully keep it alive. Offerer does. Back to Courtney House on the ground. Guinness Walker again, who has just signed a new contract, which I don't know if it's a good thing. Courtney House nearly gives away a throw. Guinness Walker to Mika Hamilton. Back to Guinness Walker again. Down the line is Fred. There we go. Finds Onyedinma. 2 options, maybe 3 in the box. Cross comes in. Kelvin's one of them. And Kelvin is there. His 9th goal of the season. The flag's gone up. It's not our day. He's celebrating like he's scored. We're getting VAR? Do we get VAR in this league? I feel like... he has scored. Okay, fair enough. We've got 30 minutes to score 4 goals. And one thing we're going to do is we're going to bring on Pepra for Ballard, because Ballard is having an absolute shocker. Banks isn't doing well either, so Aziz is going to come on. Ferguson for Tom Holmes as a right back. Can you do that job? I guess. We're going to have to go for it, aren't we? It's still going to be way too little too late. We're 5-2 down on aggregate. It is Leonard with the ball. 75 minutes to play. I say to play. 75 minutes played. It's another one. 6-2. 6-2 on aggregate. We've not put up a fight at all. 10 minutes to go. I feel like we're going to get another goal. It's going to be 6-3, and it's going to look like we've done all right in the second leg. Onyedinma crosses it in. It's towards Aziz at the back post. Comes in, heads over the bar. Probably our second best chance of the game. Obviously, Kelvin scoring the best one. And that's it. It's over. Our dreams of getting promoted to the Premier League is completely dead in the water after the first leg. And the second leg just added on to it, didn't it, really? We were poor. We were very poor across both games. Interestingly, we get a bit of news as well about Kelvin ending his goal drought. Kelvin's not played for a very long time. So I'm not surprised he's had a goal drought. Well, we are now going to go forward to the other side of the Blackburn-Hull playoff final because I just feel like we should see who's actually going to go up. I'm going to talk to you as well about some transfers that are planned for Season 3 as well, which realistically has to be the season that we get ourselves promoted. I guess that needs to be the target. Financially, we're not in a good way, but we will see by the end of this episode exactly what transfer budget we're going to have next season as well. I'm hoping it's got an M in it. I'm hoping for millions. In fact, we're going to see it right now by the looks of it. We have £1.48 million to spend, which is not a lot of money at all. Not really a lot of money, but we've got some players in our squad that we can shift on. We've also got some players, if we come in here and actually sort by, I think this is just our first team. It is just our first team. Players who are going to be leaving the club, so expiring. We've got Button, Yeardom and Penny all leaving the club on free transfers, so that's freeing up some wage budget. Sorting by value, we've got some players who are worth a fair amount, and we don't need 73 central defenders, so maybe a Tom Holmes, who's wanted by Bristol City or Cardiff. If we can get maybe £3-4 million for Holmes, that's not terrible. Rideval didn't really play for us. If we can get 2.5 for him, also a bit more money into the bank. We are also obviously making the Scott Banks loan deal a permanent deal as well at the end of the season, which I think is why our transfer budget is kind of being hit, because we are spending a bit of money. £1.8 million, it's not all in one hit, but we're spending a bit of money there. We're getting this man in on a free transfer. Don't really know why. He's 18 and English. I mean, he's a defensive midfielder. We need more of them. And we're also getting a man called Romans Kozlovs from Southend. He is our first new gen who's going to be actually joining us from another club. And I was looking through and I just saw a Latvian and I went, he's actually pretty good, isn't he? So Kozlovs is going to be joining. He's 16. He's a central defender. We might train him up to be a central midfielder, which we can definitely do with passing and technique of that. He's a central midfielder. Right, Kozlovs is going to be a central midfielder for us. And he's only costing £235,000. We might play him a lot next season. Well, today's the day where we should have been playing our final game of the season against Hull, but instead we ballsed it up against Blackburn, which means it is Blackburn versus Hull in the playoff final. The richest game in world football, I believe, or even, maybe even world sport, who knows. Blackburn versus Hull. My money's on Blackburn. There you go, and with a click of a button, literally no loading, even just took place there, just straight into the result. And is that Sam Gallagher? It is Sam Gallagher, former Southampton player. Sam Gallagher scores in the 95th minute of extra time? It is extra time, isn't it? To put Blackburn back to the Premier League. So when you look at the league table, then Norwich, Luton and Blackburn are the ones going up next season. Who's come down? Who's come down? Everton, Leicester and Stoke have been relegated. So Everton going down could be a big deal. That could be a very big deal because I imagine they've still got some very good players in there. But because they've also gone down, so many of them want to leave the club. They might get absolutely destroyed financially. That's some big wages. That could be some problems. We're going to finish then, which is probably going to be a very short episode, I think, with the end of season review. And obviously, we did quite well. I think we did way better than I thought we would do. The star signing is Fred Onyedinma, which I completely agree. On a free transfer, Fred Onyedinma, 42 appearances, 13 goals to his name. Scotty Banks as well with 13 goals and 11 assists to Onyedinma's 8. What else happened? Mika Hamilton, 54 matches he played. Pretty sure that's every game. I don't think he missed a match all season. Mepham as well, I think for £220,000 is ridiculously good money. Ballard, we're going to miss him. We are going to miss Don Ballard. It's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen because they probably want him in the Premier League now. He's probably good enough to play in the Premier League. We are going to try, and we might see come episode 1 of season 3, we might see whether Don Ballard is back in the club or whether that is where some of our £1.3 million needs to go over the summer. We've got, there's a lot of people we brought in. Courtney House, we've got Kavlina, who, honestly, I'm tempted to sell you because you definitely cost us in that first leg. Lascelles, I'm tempted to try and shift on as well because we just didn't play him in the end. Played a lot of games until we brought in Mepham and then we brought in Courtney House as well. So, probably not the best signing. Williams as well, player didn't really play much. Rydvald, 36 matches off the bench, just 4 starts for Rydvald. Nathan Ferguson with 11 assists to his name. I think Ferguson's very good and he's only 24. Obviously because we're expected to be in a relegation scrap, finishing 6th is very good. But I'm always frustrated when you get to a playoffs or a cup final or something like that. You want to win it. When you've done so well to get to that point, you want to win it. It's a C-. I got a C- for attempting to avoid relegation and finishing 6th. The board are disappointed at the team's performance in the playoffs. What did you want me to do? I mean, I'm disappointed as well. If you have a look, it's not good. It's definitely not good. FA Cup, we got knocked out by Leeds, and the Carabao Cup, we got past Leeds, actually, and got knocked out by Birmingham. Financially, I think, obviously, we're going to be better because last season was League One, but we have, what is that? I mean, that's like 6 times more broadcast revenue, which is good. Corporate hospitality has pretty much doubled. Matchday income's gone up a little bit as well. Sponsorship's down for some reason. Don't know why. And there you can see Team of the Season goals. There is a lot of goals in that. Ballard with 20. Banks and Onyedinma on 13. Kelvin on 9. Offerer on 5. 3 for Hamilton and 2 for Mepham as well. It's a lot of goals. It would be nice to see goals from players like Ferguson, but obviously he's a right back. Not really expecting that. Mika Hamilton maybe getting a few more goals to his name as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. Best 11. Maybe not sure about Lascelles, but, you know, he did play more than Courtney House, just about. And a bunch of awards. I think it's Scott Banks seems to be taking most of them. Fans Player of the Season and Young Player of the Season goes to Banks. Signing goes to Fred Onyedinma. Goal of the Season, Ballard. Top goal scorer is Ballard as well. Ferguson with most assists. Banks most man of the match award. Highest average rating goes to Onyedinma. And most passes completed is Cameron Burgess. He's hopefully leaving. Huddersfield want him. I don't need him anymore. We brought him in last season. He did a decent job. We've now definitely replaced him. And us as a club have picked up just under £5 million for playing in the Championship. I don't think that's going to affect our transfer budget, but it does certainly help out our bank balance. I'm hoping our new owners, I can't remember his name, it's something Power, wasn't it? How do we find it's not responsibility, Stuart? It's under sure, there we go. Jack Power, there we go. I'm hoping old Jackie boy has got some money in his pocket that he wants to dish out to us, because that would be really helpful. It would be really helpful to have a little bit more money, because I don't think we're in a bad position when it comes to the squad that we have. I think we've got some very good players in there. You can see from Cavallini, Onyedinma, Offerer, House, Mepham, Guinness Walker, Hamilton, let's ignore Don Ballard, are all 3.5 star current ability. We need to shift on some of maybe these players down this end, but some of them are actually, they're kind of not really going to be playing a huge amount, like Leai, Basil Tuma, Bondswell. They're not going to be number 1 on the team sheet, so I'm not too fussed if they're not as good as the other players. I think we've got a good squad. I honestly don't know where we could improve. Maybe strikers, but then you think we've got Banks, we've got Onyedinma, that's 26 goals. We've got Kelvin, who got 9 and a big injury. It's only the 20 goals from Ballard that we need to kind of fix. So before we finish then, I'm just going to take a look. This is the list of players whose contracts are expiring at the end of the season. I think this is where we need to be doing our business. And there's some potential interesting players on here. Anyone who's got a 0, I assume, means they're actually just going to be released. So we just know that we could sign them if we want. I mean, he'll be good, wouldn't he? He'll be good, but do we need to replace Offerer? Do we need to replace Hamilton? Maybe not. It's the strikers that we're looking at. Cecilio Waterman, which, by the way, is a ridiculously good name. He's 34. We're not going to go for that. But strikers is maybe where we need to look at. Do we want to have Huang Yu Zhou? Is that his name? I mean, I don't think he's great either. Sorting by my scout recommendations, we've got some players who can play as strikers. Whether they are or not, I'm not quite convinced. This one interests me. This one definitely interests me because I think he's got potential, but he's not a striker. He's a winger. He's 22. We're definitely going to add him to our shortlist, I think. But yeah, I'm going to have to do some looking through this list, maybe having a look to see as well what players are available for cheap transfer business, maybe even digging into the loan market. I'm pretty convinced that we're not going to be getting Ballard back for Season 3, but we will have to wait and see. Thank you very much for watching this episode in this season. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you in Season 3 with Reading, and hopefully we get promoted to the Premier League.